DIY.
DIYers. Oh no. Oh no. This is somebody's worst nightmare right here. First of all, round of applause. This is somebody's worst nightmare right now. Why did the internet already doing a thing? Look at the internet. Look at already. Let me restart this real quick. Y'all gonna get your full applause. We don't, I'm not trying to cut the applause. One more time. If there was ever a visual representation of my favorite tag, it would be these two gentlemen. Anytime my brain starts like tickling, like I start seeing something and connections start happening, you guys usually jump ahead of it before I even get an opportunity to cover it. And you do it in such detail, I stand down. I bow to you, right? First of all, Jalopy, man. Jalopy obviously was here on the stream that we did for the collective. We love and appreciate your surgical breakdowns. Welcome back to the channel.
What's good? What's good? How you feeling?
I'm good. And of course, Vill, man. Vill, this was in the making for a long time, bro. And it's weird because like this is the first time I'm ever talking to you on a camera yet. I've been in the chat, you've been in my chat, and we've been showing up the last X amount of months because of all the stuff going on. But what's going on with you?
Nah, good, bro. We live, bro. Everybody get the likes up, bro. We're gonna talk about what we talked about last night, bro, because it's gonna get crazy. Shout out Curtis, bro, because you're really the only one, not the only one, but one of the very few that started like reacting to me. Like when I had like probably like 1K, maybe 2K. You were really tapping in, bro. So I really appreciate you for always watching me, bro.
Bro, I'm always in search of people who make a lot of sense because there's a lot of nonsense out here, as we already know. I'm looking for people who make common sense, but also break down very complex situations in a way where it's like, how could you see it any other way? And I feel like both of y'all are so damn great at that. And I just tip my hat. So I'm grateful to have you here. I know they already starting with the super chat. Shout out to Briscoe the King, JV Jalopy, and Mr. Shotty. Why I gotta be Mr. Shotty?
Briscoe.
Why I gotta be Mr. Shotty? I do. Why I guess why I gotta take her? Okay, because Shotty, I gotta take her last name. Okay, bet that's cool. Anyways, I appreciate the super chat, man. So let me kind of walk you down how this situation even went down. What's up, Big Kish? I see you in the building. Big Kish, when you get a chance.
Big Kish, what's good, boy?
Big Kish, when you get a chance, shoot me a DM. I have a really, really important company that wants to reach out to you, and I've been trying to get a hold of you. Shoot me your info, and I want to make sure I get this information to you. So I was in Vill's stream the other day, right, Jalopy? And I walked in on a screenshot. And the screenshot was, I believe, what's up, cousin Moni? The screenshot was the back of a jacket that Rick Ross was wearing. What did the back of that jacket say, Vill?
Oh, it said Hidden Hills.
Oh, hell nah. Oh, hell nah. Hold on.
Man.
Hold on.
What song is that? One more time. What song is that?
Hold on, bro.
What song is that again?
Oh, Champagne Moments by Rick Ross.
Champagne Moments. Okay, this was obviously one of the first diss songs that went out there before we got the epic battle between Kendrick and Drake. And do you remember the actual timestamp itself?
Like halfway. Like at least got to be like before 120.
You know, and it's so crazy because I think like a lot of people kind of wrote, I don't want to say write it off, but it was like the prelim.
He was talking about the BBL. He was talking about like the surgery, the nose job.
Yeah.
We weren't paying attention to what he was sharing. How could we? How could we even know?
Well, before we get into this, because I'm going to bring this up, maybe I should show the conversation that's been struck up by DJ Vlad, first of all. Because for those of you who have been hearing the name Hidden Heels, there was a clip shared, I believe, from an interview that DJ Vlad did with Akademiks. And DJ Vlad mentioned something. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Usually I have this stuff ready, but I'm gonna pull this up real quick and then we can discuss. Oh, here it goes. I don't think there's a reason to watch the whole thing, but is it right here? It says, oh, now I know what to do. Okay, let's do Hidden Hills. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this up on the screen right now so you guys can see it. Make sure you absolutely hit the like button on the way in here. Oh, as my friend Jalopy says, it's about to get surgical. Okay. This right here. This would be terrifying if I was anybody else. Let me go ahead and share this screen. Here he goes. So bada boom, bada bang. Here he goes. Allow. All right. So here we are.
Right.
As I said, we got this interview here. I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then I want you guys to give your initial reactions and maybe some things that might have came across your table in the midst of this.
Right.
Here goes.
I will say, though, you know what I was impressed by? With all the shit and say not like us and everything, people talking about Drake, not one chick even erroneously filed a lawsuit or like, I thought there was going to be a few of those to take advantage of the moment. And there's been not one person that's accused Drake of anything.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if some shit starts coming out.
Well,
Because
I just want to look around for a second.
from what I understand, when Drake first moved to like Hidden Hills, like they were wilding out in that house, and him and his homies were doing some shit that probably got covered up somehow. You know what I'm saying? And now maybe people got paid. And
I remember this partying. No, not like.
I heard some stories. You know,
That was crazy, right?
Bruh.
I heard some stories.
When somebody who's obviously careful with his words like a Vlad corrects you and says, let's not downplay it. It actually was some wild activity. It might be something to pay attention to. I'm going to let him finish this out, and we're going to get to this timestamp that Vill found.
no, but and I'm not going to mention
I know there was getting it in type shit.
I mean, some things could happen around that if certain people really started to make a lot of noise, but I think
Maybe he's paying them off. Like, yo,
I think Drake is just paying them off. And so, I mean, listen, if you look at the R. Kelly situation, right? That whole case hinged around the video.
The fact that it ended there is crazy. Okay.
Come on, man.
Crazy cut.
A
little bit. Right there. Yeah, right there.
Right here.
Hold on, bro.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Right at school, always ran. Another nigga had to write your grooves. Flow was copy and paste. Weezy gave you the juice. Another white boy at the park wanna hang with the crew. Pulitzer Prize winner, switching up like dyed denim. Get incentives for all the killings while we ride rentals. Look me right in my face. He beginning to shake. Told you niggas stay scheming. I predicted my fate. Got more money than you. Fuck you want me to say? 50 mils for the crib. Where you want me to stay? I can
Motherfucker, yo! Hold on, man. Hey, it's a dirty game out here, boy. What?
Yeah, bro.
I didn't even catch this.
Yeah, bro. I told you, bro. I was on live yesterday for like 4 hours.
Bro. Nah, they've been on his ass.
It's kind of what I do, bro. I don't know. So the chat really was what, like, I was watching this video. It's kind of a long story. I was reacting to like 5 different songs, 5 different lyrics of the songs, and then someone had talked about, oh, listen to Splash Brothers, listen to Splash Brothers, listen to Splash Brothers by Drake. And who else did it? Drake and French Montana had a song called Splash Brothers, right?
Right.
And this song is a diss to Drake that Rick Ross made, because at the end of the song, you can hear him say, if you keep playing it, he says, you sent a cease and desist to French Montana.
Mm-hmm.
But why? Because he, in that song, if you pull up Splash Brothers, the lyrics, he talks about Hidden Hills in that song.
Yo,
that's a cease and desist about.
Hold on, Vill.
Yo, what?
Yeah.
When I tell you, Vill, one of the greatest, if he make a Jalopy say, wait a minute, look, this right here,
bro. Yo,
so
this
then
is crazy.
So Jalopy, hear what he also had to say about the timing of this Baka interview, which we're obviously going to have some commentary on as well. What was your theory about the okay, let me say this before I get into anything, okay? I don't have my chat GPT thing ready, but all of this stuff is allegedly, right? It's all entertainment.
Yeah.
We're all just giving opinions that are not based upon actual facts of things that we have any knowledge of. This is all allegedlys with the allegedlys. All right. Cease and desist your punk ass down somewhere. Okay. That being said, Vill, tell him what you told me.
Oh, yeah, bro. Well, this song, bro, I think really this song was a song that Rick Ross had made, but he had made it in the regards of French Montana getting that cease and desist. He got that cease and desist for the song Splash Brothers. That song came out, but it only has Lil Wayne. The original song has Drake as the first verse, and he has Hidden Hills. I don't know if you could bring it up, Curtis, or I can share mine. Hold on.
Yeah, I can stop sharing. Go ahead and run it. Go ahead and run it. That is incredible.
Original lyrics. Hold on. I gotta pull it up right here.
I'll be real with you. I never would have saw that had I not went to your stream. I wouldn't have went back to the Rick Ross video.
Bro, a lot of people dismissed that video for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Because it was
hard, but I never felt the
need. Hard, yeah. But okay, I'm gonna bring you on stage right now.
So look, Splash Brothers, right? This is the original track that had Drake on it. Look, Jalopy, look what he says right here. And I think Thought Crimes was talking about the song. I'm not sure to what extent, but shout out Thought Crimes because I think he's talking about it before. Read right here.
So niggas know the real secrets left in Hidden Hills. Bought the whole street up and got it for a steal.
Hold on. Let me show you.
Wait. Is this French saying this?
This is Drake saying this. Look, first one, Drake. So why did Drake send a cease and desist about this song unless it's because he didn't want anybody to question what was going on in Hidden Hills?
What are we doing, bro? Why do you say it?
Because he's arrogant as hell. That's why. This dude, like that's the thing about these dudes. These dudes get a certain amount of money and a certain amount of power, and they think they can't be touched. It's like, bruh, this dude been snitching on himself subliminally because he think he untouchable. It's like, you're not untouchable, bro. What are you talking about? This is crazy. Why would you even say that in a song?
We know the real secrets in hidden. We know the real secrets left in Hidden Hills. That if I'm not mistaken, if that's his, okay. So there's more. The rabbit hole. The whole title of this is The Rabbit Hole Goes Deeper.
Yeah, look at the second part. He said, "Bought the whole street up, and I got it for a steal." Right?
Yeah.
This is Richard Fitzenwell. This is Drake's LLC.
Right.
This is Matthew Stafford's LLC. He's the seller. And Matthew Stafford's the buyer. He bought it for $11 million from Drake. Drake bought it for $3 million from golfer Diego Aleo. So he really did get it for a steal. Okay. There's a receipt that shows that this place, that this receipt is in regards to this song. This song is in regards to Hidden Hills. And this is the compound that he had purchased for $3 million. So this is literally the property that Vlad is talking about, Rick Ross is talking about, French Montana and Drake are talking about in the song, specifically Drake. Right. And the real key part about the diss track that Rick Ross had made was because of the cease and desist. But what made me laugh, or it made me so concerned, was the back of his shirt, because it's the lyrics that Rick Ross says. Now, look, check this out. Hold up.
Bro.
Jalopy, you got content. After your itinerary is taken care of, you got content, my boy.
Yeah,
this is crazy, bro.
But look, here's
this is insane.
He said, "I unfollowed you because you sent a mother effing cease and desist to French Montana. You sent the police, hated on my dog's project. That wasn't the same guy I seen when he was making the early records with me." So this is Rick Ross talking about that cease and desist. So there's something that Drake is hiding, obviously, and it's something that triggered Rick Ross to go and make that video exposing Hidden Hills, which is what Vlad was talking about, saying that something eventually will come up in regards to when Drake stayed at the Hidden Hills.
So are we saying that Kendrick potentially got one of these prophecies wrong and that the embassy won't be the first to get raided? or wait.
Well, I don't know, bro. The embassy's a lot different too. You know, the embassy. There's a whole other theory with the embassy. You know, we got to even get into like the guy that make, you know, Share. We got to talk about Share Club. Who made Share Club? Who made the embassy? Who are the construction workers who made these buildings, bro? Because there's a whole theory within that. But I don't want to get into that right now.
No, but I was being funny when I said that because obviously all these prophecies have been very, very, very accurate.
But California being the place where they crack down first, besides the embassy, who knows, bro?
Gosh. So is this something to your knowledge that he's still an owner of that property?
He sold it to Matthew Stafford.
Oh, he sold it to Matthew Stafford.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
Look. I thought he purchased it from him. Oh my gosh.
No, he sold it, and now Matthew Stafford is trying to get rid of it. Why is he trying to get rid of this property? It's crazy. He bought it for 11 million, and he's trying to sell it for 12. He's not even trying to sell it for like a lot of money. He's not even, and he's still with the Rams. The Rams are still in LA. Why?
Wait a minute.
Property. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're still staying in LA, though.
I don't know how much this might be a reach, but isn't this kind of interesting? What's another name for Richard?
Oh, Dick.
Right.
Fitzwell. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, yeah. And Jalopy, that's the whole thing, bro. Like when you pointed out the Vlad interview, bro, I was like, oh, hell yeah, bro. Because I've talked about this property a long ass time ago, bro. But I didn't know what it was because I'm going over it with what Ebony Prince is telling me. Ebony Prince was the one that showed the paperwork.
Right.
That said that this is a name that Drake goes by, right?
Right.
This is his name. This is Drake's name at the hotel. Richard Fitzwell. With just this paper alone, he didn't tell me an address. He didn't give me a state. He didn't tell me nothing. He told me this is Drake's alias at this hotel. With that alone, bro, we were able to find that he had an LLC with that name. And then after that, we were able to find out that he did purchase it from Matthew Stafford. So this whole thing was from Ebony Prince. This is how I came to find out about the Hidden Hills location, about the Calabasas location, whatever the case may be, because of Ebony Prince. But I didn't know what it meant. Ebony Prince probably didn't even know what it meant or what Drake had tied into the name. I think he was just talking about, oh, he goes by this name in the hotel. What a creep. But really, it led to more things and really just Drake telling on himself that he's buying properties under this name as well. And it happens to be Hidden Hills where Vlad is talking about.
You know what I wonder too? And Jalopy, I want to bring this into you. You know what I wonder? How many times does, for instance, Ebony Prince, it seems like he's been very on point about, you know, he doesn't give you too much to incriminate himself, but he also gives you enough to lead you down a rabbit hole. It makes me wonder, even the things that he may or may not know, how much some of this stuff is like bait for them to start doing what they do. Like Baka, for instance. When Baka got in that interview, one of the first things that I saw in that interview that was a head scratcher is him taking credit for being one of the people that Kendrick allegedly called a PDF, when the whole foundation of the lawsuit that Drake has against UMG is that it's a defamation of his own character. I said early on, there's no defamation of character because you got to prove that for your whole crew, because the whole thing was a plural. He said, party at the party playing with his nose now. Yeah, Baka got a weird case. He gave you a list, and then the line that basically set everything off was certified lover boy, certified PDFs with a plural. Right. He goes on that interview yesterday or 2 days ago and says, yeah, you can't make accusations like that because we all got kids.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was going to say we all got cases.
No, but he, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? He invited you to do all of this homework.
Hey, I hate that shit though. They act like Ted Bundy didn't have a child. They act like John Wayne Gacy didn't have kids, bro. They act like serial killers weren't parents either, bro. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, what kind of fucking excuse is that? Hey, bro, we got kids, bro. Like, bro, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard on the planet, bro. You think
that propaganda, bro?
Yeah, I'm way too famous for the shit you suggested. Is basically what he said.
You
Like
keep
when
saying
you bring
it.
up that shit, you know what I'm saying, bro? That shit is stupid. But
Jalopy, go ahead.
go.
I was gonna say, Jalopy, what are your first thoughts as you because your brain works a very special way, especially when I see these breakdowns. What's going on right now as you starting to piece this together? What are you thinking?
First of all, yeah, Ebony Prince has been very, and that's the thing too. I was talking about in my last video yesterday. Drake is like adopting like very traditional propaganda tactics, like very like Fox, CNN tactics, where everybody that has the ability to point out any evidence or bring anything to the table that people would research, he makes sure he sends a bunch of, whether it's bots, whether it's platforms,
or it's Baka.
Right.
That's all I'm trying to tell you, Curtis. I was trying to tell you.
Right.
What came from this other than it being a distraction?
Well, see,
exactly.
My thing is, why wouldn't you send a calculated distraction out there? Like somebody that you actually, you can control some of the things that they're saying. Because he went in there, and my thing is, if this is a distraction from whatever activity happened out of Hidden Hills, okay, let's just go with that theory. But it costs you whatever money you think you're going to get in a settlement with UMG. How bad is that in you? Is that in Hidden Hills? Like, how bad is that there?
Yeah.
Well, if it's something that has any type of malice in regards to Drake's name, it could be something detrimental to his career other than this lawsuit, and that says volumes about what the case might be.
Right.
Wow. That's why when Vlad corrected Akademiks, he didn't let him get away with the, because what Akademiks likes to do is he'll be like, oh, it's just party. Like he'll try to like reason with the situation. Yeah. And Vlad said, Vlad gave that. I call it the when the Caucasian about to go tell the police on you, he go like this. He gave one of those and was like, not quite. And he that's my thing. Like, if you're gonna send a distraction, why would you send a distraction that's gonna cause more problems? Because now, they panicking, but I'm like, even when you panicking, you don't want to go send the internet on a mission to find more evidence. Like I pulled up, I gotta pull her name up, but she's on TikTok. It's a video that went viral of when Not Like Us was performed after the Super Bowl. It was a lady on TikTok. I shared the other day. She went and did her research about the cases because she was like, who is Baka? I know Drake. I know Kendrick. Who is Baka? And then went and dove into the details of it.
Right.
And so I'm like, do you want to give people more incentive, especially if this kind of information is getting viewership? If this kind of like, Miss Bynum said, you thinking logically, these fools not. Okay, I'll shut up.
Right. And
you're right.
Think,
you know what?
Initially, I think what it is like, once again, when you look at sources like Ebony Prince, it's very easy to discredit them by saying, oh yeah, this is, because what they do is they kind of try to appeal to social media banter. So what they use is they use like, oh, this dude Ebony Prince is some weirdo who probably don't got no life and stuff like that, and it incentivizes people. In order to prove that they have a life, they then have to agree by saying, oh yeah, look at this weird guy, look at this weird. It's like typical tactics.
Yeah. So
it's most important to pay attention to those people. The people that they send the flack to, or the people with all the information. Wherever you see all of the media send it, if they send a whole bunch of flack their way, that's how you know that person has information on these individuals. That it's blueprint shit. You see what I'm saying?
And you know when you say, go ahead.
So when I see what Vill was talking about, first of all, I mentioned Vlad. I know for a fact, and this people gonna say this is crazy, but when you really think about it, think about Vlad's entire career. The criticism on Vlad has never been credibility.
No,
it's never been credibility. Vlad is extremely careful with what he has to say, and because he's represented by people who, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So because of that, he's very careful with what he says, and he's very careful what he doesn't say. And he also is very well versed in getting you to say things that will incriminate yourself or put you in a position to be indicted or people around you to be indicted. So for Vlad to get on camera talking to DJ Akademiks like that, it's letting you know that the process is already started. Vlad wouldn't get on camera and say anything like that without being 100% sure. Yeah. And another thing, DJ Akademiks, if you watch anything, even if you go watch watch anything DJ Akademiks has ever done when it comes to Drake, when people start talking about Drake a certain way, DJ Akademiks don't let them get it off.
No.
When you ever see DJ Akademiks allow people to get slander off on Drake without rebuttaling? Now,
or even just negative feedback.
It's just a party, but then he let Vlad go on and on and on because he understands the hierarchy. He understands what it is when it comes to characters of Vlad's nature. You see what I'm saying? This is Vlad's not in his position because he did all the right work. You see what I'm saying? So it lets you know that DJ Akademiks might also be in on this situation, and it felt like he was setting them up, allowing Vlad to get that off. I wouldn't be surprised if they.
I'm gonna be real with you, because we see this in patterns, right? We know when somebody sent out a PR email to all of these platforms because they have very similar copy, they have very similar tweets, very similar images they use as screenshots, all that. For anybody who doesn't know, what the labels would do or major artists would do is they'll have a PR who basically emails all the major hip hop websites, and they'll basically have like a press release, which will tell them what they're trying to share with these platforms, be it a Baka Not Nice interview, the talking points that they want to focus on, and even potential tweets to send out. That's why you'll see a lot of these platforms will have the same exact tweet or the same exact area of focus, even though the interview was 16 minutes. They do that on purpose. It's so you can get a bit of you can say propaganda, but more so getting specific information out there. Every one of them had the same type of thing. I'll tell you this with Akademiks that I think is really interesting. In the same week that you saw him allow DJ Vlad to get that off, you also saw him on a stream with Aiden Ross making an argument for why he felt like Kanye is
was better than Drake,
much bigger GOAT than Drake.
Listen.
Listen.
Bro, that was
weird.
It's not by chance.
It's not at all. I'm noticing DJ Akademiks starting to, and this is my theory. This is my theory. I have no proof of this. But when I'm paying attention to DJ Akademiks, right, I'm noticing that there's been a major shift in the way he's covering things and in the way he's doing things. All of a sudden, even with all the flack that Kanye West is getting, all of a sudden, most of his content has been centered around Kanye West. Even though Drake got an album out, he got the Nokia video coming out, all types of stuff. He hasn't been going as hard for Drake as he usually does. And all of a sudden, Kanye West is his guy. But that's not the only thing. Right before that, he tried to make Playboi Carti his guy. He got upset. He got upset that Playboi Carti leaked information to Kai Cenat instead of him, and that's when he kind of turned on him. But before that, he was trying to make Playboi Carti say 2025. Didn't Drake just drop an album?
Yeah.
So my thing is, why is it we know that DJ Akademiks attaches himself for benefit? So why is it no longer beneficial to continue to attach yourself to Drake?
Unless it's something that Vlad had told him when they did an interview or talked behind.
That's what I was gonna say right now. That's it right there.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I think it's very interesting because DJ Akademiks because he's a troll, and that's what people don't understand. When you're a troll, you can get away with a whole lot more because anything can be construed as jokes. It can be construed as whatever when you troll. So DJ Akademiks is able to get a lot of things off that other journalists are not able to get off because he's a troll. So when I look at his how he's stepping away from the relationship of Drake, it's like, okay, he must have found out something, or it might not be in his best interest to be in Drake's corner right now.
Well, this is the same person that said he knew about those accusations that that party was going to throw at TDE. He said he knew that in November, December. So, the industry moves a lot quicker behind the scenes than it does in the public eye. Things stay kind of mute for a long time and whatnot. But it would not surprise me if he was privy to that, and if he desires to have a career past this era of Drake, he probably would want to start pivoting, because whoever has been in a part of his propaganda machine,
Right.
if something does come out that Vlad is alluding to with his hidden heels, that is as crazy as Vill has been alluding to as well, you're going down with it.
100%.
You're going like, because all of them videos that you got attached to it, and you've shown no pivot away from it. Also, to the point of Vlad, you know, when I put my tinfoil hat, let me put mine on really tight. You know, when I say this, immediately, you know who I thought about when Vlad started saying what he said? UMG. I thought, okay, somebody pushed the button. My conspiracy brain said, "Oh, you just got to win, and you got to win in court." I'm using that very loosely. A win in court, right, Vill? When he got the right to get like access to certain documents, then all of a sudden his Twitter gets hacked. Then all of a sudden, this news just casually breaks on one of your biggest fan-supported platforms that's not your own.
Right. Right.
And Cardi B, ain't that suspicious?
Yeah, and I think this is what I think too, and I think it's more of connecting the dots and critical thinking, right? Like using the context of what we see to come to conclusions. And I feel like what UMG was probably doing for Drake, right? I don't think it was necessarily that they might have pressed the button on Drake, but they might have stopped stopping other people from talking about the things that they want to talk about. Like, I believe that, I believe that ultimately UMG has been protecting Drake, because that's how it is. As long as you're an asset, a valuable asset that can provide what we need for our corporation, we're going to protect you. Yeah, once you are no longer that asset, we no longer have to protect you. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like what we're about to see is a lot of people who have been forced to hold things down are now about to be able to put things out there.
Well, that's what they were doing when they brought up the incident on stage, when they brought up Millie Bobby Brown, when they brought up Baka on in the incident report, or not the incident report, but with the documents for the lawsuit. It was really just them being like, "Hey, we could go there, but we don't want to go there all the way. But we'll bring the things that are taken at face value. When you're on stage with the girl, when you're texting Millie Bobby Brown, these are things that are like you could just look up and be like, okay, this is what Kendrick was alluding to. Not Ebony Prince, not Hidden Hills, not all of this other stuff, right? Let's talk about this stuff because the people could take it at face value. These are the things that people could just accept that happened. And this is what Kendrick is alluding to. We'll allude to it also. UMG's like, we'll allude to it also. However, we could go there and we could try to use this, or we could just try to, if there's something that we know that nobody else does because we've been protecting you, then we could go at that point. But right now, we're just taking it right here with what everybody already knows. If it gets to the point where they start revealing things that they did for him, that's when it could get into a bigger issue.
Don't tell no lie about me. I won't tell no truths about you, is what I first think about. But I'm thinking also, we have this, we let you in to one of our inner layers of family, right? We made you our poster child. You have benefited off of this. You gonna do this to us? And I'm not defending either one, because you know both parties are guilty of whatever the folks say out here. Artists have all their issues with UMG. Artists were just pissed off at UMG for, you know, them removing the music from TikTok without the permission of the artist. So it's like there's enough stuff to go around. But once again, these companies don't play when it comes to, if I'm giving you $400 million, I'm going to know your whereabouts, your properties, your bank accounts. I'm going to know who you're around, why they're around. Matter of fact, you may think that you hired somebody, but really I just sent the person with the best credentials that you're looking for as a player. How do I know that? Because the same thing happened in the NBA. Carmelo Anthony talked about that. He said once he signed his major deal, He said, they told him, we got folks that are going to always have eyes on you no matter where you go. Because you are in your investment.
That was another lyric that somebody had pointed out. I think it was like his old album, like his second or third album. He talks about how like he's using offshore money and how he knows that people usually audit him. And he know like it's I gotta get the lyrics, bro.
Pull that up if you can. That's insane.
Yeah, bro. He talks about it like way back when, like 2011, 2012. He talks about how he uses offshore money, which is funny because of the cryptocurrency angle that's been going around, you know, putting crypto in the streets, you know, with whacked out murals. That was something that Kendrick had said. You know, we talk about Pusha T when, you know, he had put like money out there to get information about Pusha T. He offered people cryptocurrency. How Kendrick had talked about it in Whacked Out Murals. He's always using some, and crypto is usually like notorious for people using it to buy like drugs on the black market. Like that is always used for stuff that is underground. So him using that is already telling as it is. But saying that, oh well, I'm sponsored by Stake. I use crypto to gamble. Kind of feels like, oh, you're just saying that. So that way people don't really look too deep into why you're always invested highly in crypto. But there's a lyric, and hold on, I gotta sign into the thing. There's a lyric that somebody had sent me, and I went over it real quick, bro. And it's like from an early album. So he's aware that he's being audited. That's the funny part that you bring that up here. I'm gonna bring it up right. I'm gonna have to bring it up on the Discord. Shout out everybody in the Discord, y'all. Whoever sent it to me, bro. I appreciate everybody tapped in. Everybody that watches all of it, bro.
And make sure you hit the like button on the way in here if you're enjoying this conversation. When I talked to you yesterday, Vill, and you said Jalopy, I said, oh, I hope he's available. I hope he. And I know we don't have you here for a long time. But, I know we don't have you here for a long time, but I know for sure we had to have this. And I mean, my thing is this: if you take nothing else from this except for thinking and connecting dots, I think that's a positive to take in this era of hip hop media, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is causing us to dig deeper into music that we might have forgotten about, digging deeper into the lyrics. I love this shit. Honestly, I do this when I'm watching like I'm watching like Law and Order or some shit. Like I try to connect the dots on some of the thing. This is just in real life, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, yo, you cannot be this sloppy. But then I think about it and I say, sometimes, not even sometimes, the bigger you are, the more surgical these companies become. I think about Michael Jackson. I think about Prince, and they're very patient too. They're supremely patient. And it feels like there's so much paranoia coming from Drake's camp and some of the people who are talking that they're just quietly waiting them out. And they're planting little seeds is what it feels like. And by the time they actually get to doing what they do when this case, if this lawsuit continues on, the damage will already be done, especially in public opinion. I think it's already.
It's bad out here, bro.
In the real
world, for sure.
And my thing is, and I really want to understand, I feel like we won't get this information until about 30 years from now when it's a documentary. Why didn't he just disappear?
From the battle?
No, from life. from the internet. Like, bro, like the internet has this thing. I remember there was a reporter who went viral because of his funny way of saying certain things. And he was like, they were like, are you embarrassed that you went viral for this? He said, man, the internet is like bubble gum. People chew on it until it has no more flavor, then they move on to the next stick of bubble gum. And I'm like, that's so true, because we forget about shit. Everybody in here thinks it's ego. I really wonder how much of that is ego and how much of that is possible accumulated debt. Because obviously we know that the gambling is another conversation that comes into it. That was one of the talking points.
Oh yeah, bro. You know, FD Signifier brings up a lot of wrestling points. I was seeing the Ric Flair documentary.
He pulled up comeback season.
It could go. Yeah, it was comeback season. My bad. But yeah. Having a lot of money could always leave you in a rough place. I think that's what I was trying to say about that. But the lyrics right here, bro. Check this out, bro. Look, hold on. He says, like, baby, those are cute. I adore those. Me and the salesman build a rapport, so he understand the fact that I'm spending offshore, though. Cash only transactions, homie. And please, no receipts. The feds like to explore those. They can't audit if they don't know I bought it. Been doing it for years, homie. Thoroughly, I thought it. Through what it do, I am currently recording on a track, admitting most of my currency's imported, but too late now. It's too legitimate to hit them with a lawsuit, even though those acts that I did commit, repeat offender, Anita Baker playing in the whip.
And that's why they stopped him from writing anything else.
Hey,
somebody said,
yeah,
somebody said, yeah, you getting off, but like Big Zo said, you big dummy. What are you doing? Like, yeah, you got that wordplay, like that shit tight, but like stop incriminating yourself. And that's
like,
why they said, put the pen down. We got a writer for you. Come on in here.
He said, I'm admitting most of my currency is imported, but too late now. It's too legitimate to hit him with the lawsuit. Bro said, I'm admitting to the crime.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, bro. And think about it, though. This was when? When did this album come out?
It's like 2009,
8, 9?
Something like that.
So he's been playing like this game where like he tries to make sure they don't know how much he's spending and how much he's putting in.
Oh, they know all that, because once you get in that system and they start suggesting lawyers to you, they got the best lawyers on the earth. And they will. Why would you be a company that signs someone and then invest all this money into them and allow them to have a better lawyer than you? When you know you're going to be in a business longer than their career, you've been in the business longer than they've been alive. Why would you allow somebody to have that much leverage? I think that he might be the last superstar that we will see be lifted up, especially in rap and in mainstream rap, because look at the way their experiment is now malfunctioning.
Experiment is the perfect.
You feel me? Like
statement.
Because look at
to be rapping about this type of shit on comeback season. Come on,
bro. Like, you got to think about it. He's a biracial rapper on the come up that has Jewish heritage. So there's an he comes from the TV show Degrassi. He already has a funnel into a community of kids who already invested into him. Then you link him up with somebody like a Trey Songz. Then you make him do something no other rapper is willing to do in that era, which is rap and sing quite the way that except for Fonte, who you take all this shit from. But no other rapper is willing to do it in this way. And we can brand him, clothe him, package him however we want. That is a creative player, fam.
Oh, 1,000%.
My player 2K or what?
1,000%.
Yeah. This is like 2K got hacked on. As soon as he started trying to put lawsuits on UMG, it got hacked. And they was like, oh no.
That was ultimately the downfall too. Is like, you know what I'm saying? With all that comes, you know what I'm saying? I think just in general, just the moves that he made in the battle, the moves that he's still making now, even when we talk about the Baka situation potentially be a distraction. These are all moves that you make if you've never had to experience anything of this caliber prior. Like a dude, if you, for example, when he said it's 616 in LA, if you were street smart, you would have caught your entourage only to hustle you. But when you never been through shit, you're not gonna understand when somebody trying to snake you, you ain't never experienced that for real. You've been coddled. So everything that he's doing is based off of the lack of experience of this type of energy. Well, you get this type of energy that you get in the industry when you in the streets.
Yeah, fam. Look, you got to think about this for a second. He got hustled for his first music video by Kanye.
He did,
fam. I don't know if you remember the criticism he received for his first few music videos, but he did on the momentum of that song taking off, right? This is like the birth of the blog era and all that other stuff. That song, Best I Ever Had fire behind it. It had gasoline draws. That was his song to take off. People were asking for it. They were begging for a music video because they needed something to go along with it. And he allowed Kanye West, who has admitted on many occasions to being jealous of whoever looks like they might be number one or might be next up. I have the theory that he sabotaged that video because that video is terrible. And I remember seeing it, and not terrible from a like, because everybody knows I'm not a Drake fan, but not terrible from that. Terrible from a sense of like, there's no way this is major money going behind a production like this. Like it wasn't even a Kanye West type of video. But fam, he got criticism for it. I remember the first few videos, there was still criticism. I think it was, what video was that? What are we doing? Yeah, that's right. I'm doing me. The narrative started becoming over. In some of the magazines, it started to become, okay, he finally has had visuals that line up with the quality of the music. That video, I'm sorry, some of you have revisionist history. That video got a lot of bad reviews when it first came out.
No, I don't like any of Drake's early stuff at all, bro. I didn't really listen to it, but as far as like the video, wasn't it girls? Like, isn't it just a whole bunch of high school girls? Like, isn't he in high school?
Well, I wouldn't say it was high school girls, but it was definitely a basketball team.
You got that weird video. You got that weird video of Young Money in them. I think it was at the BET Awards up there dancing with all them little girls to I Just Want to F Every Girl in the World. They got so much documented weird out there. Like it's like, bro, this was that you was leaving breadcrumbs.
But that's just the stuff we get to see.
Exactly.
Now that you got like, because Vlad don't comment on nothing. That's why I think that's a more powerful moment than we gonna give it credit for. At least I think most people in this time right now.
Right now. Exactly.
Right. It seems so subtle. It seems so like, okay, it's Vlad. No, first of all, Vlad don't do interviews like that. The only reason Vlad is available in this situation is because he's doing a campaign or he's doing a media run for his new YouTube course, right? That's on his channel. What people don't recognize is that the no jumper model of taking a live stream and chopping it up into multiple clips, that's DJ Vlad's model. The Akademiks taking a long stream and chopping it up into headlining clips, and what we pretty much all of us kind of do to a certain degree for reaction channels, that's the DJ Vlad model. Hate him or love him, that is his model. So now here he is going on this run with these folks, and then he does it very strategically on a very pro Drake platform in DJ Akademiks, and Akademiks, like you said, for the first time, doesn't give him an aggressive fight back on it.
He know who he talking to. DJ Akademiks know who he talking to. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, DJ Vlad ain't finna get up there and play with his reputation, bro.
Nah, because he plan on being there.
That dude is calculated. Very calculated. And one thing that people don't remember is DJ Vlad ain't never had an issue with Drake until certain countries started going at it. And Drake ain't say nothing.
Yeah.
And DJ Vlad openly criticized Drake for not saying something in defense of you know what.
Right. And who want to bet he got a phone call that said, "There's a little trouble in paradise. Anything you want to talk about?" I think the funniest part about all of this is how Vill connected DJ Vlad and Rick Ross as part of the the downturn of Drake, because you know they had a huge situation.
I never caught that Hidden Hills jacket, bro.
Yeah,
I think I only seen the video like one time, and I wasn't even really like, because I rock with Rick Ross, but like not enough to watch the video a few times.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like to do something that like. They playing dirty, bro.
Yeah.
It's a dirty game out here, bro.
But you gotta know, if it's a game that Michael Jackson lost, allegedly, what the hell you think you finna do? You think you bigger than a program? It is not a system that was ever built for the artist to come out on top, unless you've been invited into the inner circle and families right? That's why it goes from generation to generation. You are an employee. Yes, you are a very cherished and valuable employee, but cherished and valuable employees are not irreplaceable.
Right.
That's why when I saw the way that they were pushing Jello Ball, I know this is random, I was like, oh, they're setting it up already. They're setting up possible, instead of getting a replacement for Drake, how about we give this ridiculous deal to Jello Ball, which it still doesn't make any sense to me, because not because he didn't have the momentum off of that record, but because he doesn't have a proven track record that he's able to recoup that money back. To me, what it represents is, I think that, and this is just me throwing out theories, I think Jello Ball represents the new type of artist that will get pushed to the forefront. It won't be a singular one. It'll be 6 Jello Balls, but all in their own space. And that no matter what you do, we always have the upper hand. Nobody will ever be bigger than what they made Drake, because that was a mistake.
And it's crazy because if you look at a lot of business, let's talk about battle rap real quick, right? We look at that URL, right? URL, when they was coming up, they had the Hitmans, the Conceiteds, all these different guys who then went to Wild 'N Out and became bigger than URL. So when they spun the block, it's like, now you can't get a Hitman battle unless you got 150,000. You can't get a Charlie Clips battle unless you got 100K. You can't get a Conceited battle at all. So it's this, like, it seemed like, and URL, what they did in response was create the app. So now the battlers that battle on that app, they don't get YouTube drops, so they fan bases can't grow bigger than URL. And it's the same model for every corporation. They do the same thing. And that's why I say there's validity to what you're saying, because I think ultimately they're trying to move into a direction where something like this can't happen again. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, it can't, like they spent all this energy into building them, all that they didn't help them in rap battles.
They're not gonna sign nobody for $400 million ever again. That was a once in a lifetime thing, bro. That was an NBA contract. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? And you sued the people that were giving you fucking money. Like, what the fuck are you
while
doing?
You're still spending that money,
bro? He's going with
hold on, Vill. Imagine I borrowed $175 from you, then sued you as I'm buying new shoes.
Now I'm gonna need that by Monday.
No. I gotta get these new Balances, because like they were comfortable. I gotta go get these. If you cool with that, like, I get you after the loss. Actually, you know what? Before I get you that money back, can you present me the contracts from one of the people that you also let borrow money from you?
No. But
how you gonna sue your job and then show up to work with sexy songs for men's? I refuse to believe that's for women. Sexy songs for men. Okay, I got a theory I want to throw out here, because I know we short on time with Jalopy. I appreciate both of y'all. We gotta do this again. This was a good exchange of information, right? It's super dope. Matter of fact, shout out to the chat. If you think we should do this again, you let us know in the actual comments. I got a theory I want to bounce out there, because look, you know, when we start to talking, Vill, I've seen it happen to you only because I've seen you live. Jalopy, I'm sure this has happened to you too. You start talking and you say, oh shit. Somebody said that was my mother eye moment. I said, no, you do mother eye when you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You say mother eye. I had a moment. Heart Part 6. Heart Part 6, we know the Drake version of that, or like deleted calls Hurt Part 6. Heart Part 6 was his opportunity. And I didn't think about this until I saw Baka defending him and calling him, you know, bigger than Michael Jackson, talking about Drake.
In a good way, though. In a good way.
In a good way, which is crazy to say that out loud when he said that. But you know what it dawned on me? Drake didn't defend his homies.
Nope.
Drake didn't defend his homies in Heart Part 6 after all of them got called out, all of them got marked out. He didn't say not one thing about the OVO squad. But then Kendrick says, let me take back Heart Part 6. And who does he dedicate the song to?
Oh, Absol.
Yeah, that's true.
Absol.
That's true.
You, J-Rock.
That's real. And I think that was a great tactic too, to use that for something positive. Because I'm sure a lot of people saw the Heart Part 6 on the album and was like, oh, he about to
go in.
He about to fucking, but for him to turn that to a positive situation or reflection of the journey with him and his homies, something that Drake is not able to do. It's like it's just these little like painful shots, like, you know what I'm saying? My crew that I came in with, that I worked with, that I slept at Punch House with, that we created with, we still here together. You see what I'm saying? We still performing at the Pop Out. We still together. Like, that's something Drake can't say. He can't.
And you want to know what else? He said Ab-Soul was the best, bro, and I could never get over that, bro. He said Ab-Soul, if he ain't number one, then that's it. Like, you know what I mean? And I always appreciate you, Curtis, because you worked with Ab-Soul, bro. And I always like Kendrick Lamar for saying that, bro, because like finally he's actually telling people that Ab-Soul is the one that he wanted to become lyrical from. Like, he learned from him, and he's admitting it on that song. So I was ecstatic when I heard that shit.
You know what's so crazy about hearing him say that? Because the first time I got invited, this is around the time that Ab-Soul signed the TDE, and he invited me over to the studio. At that time, the only person I really knew about was J-Rock, because J-Rock was on fire. He had the major label deal. If you were a producer in that era, you wanted to work with J-Rock because you knew he was going to be one of the next ones up. He invited me to that studio, and I was listening to music that he was playing. Ali was playing music, and I said, man, so I don't know what happened over here, but bro, you want another level? I said, bro, like you got to be one of the best ones to come out. And he said, wait till you hear this nigga Dot. He said, no, he the truth. And he deferred that completely. Only to hear now in this present day, Dot do the same thing. Well, not the same thing, but say like, no, he's the truth.
Right. Like, he was watching him.
He was watching him. But my thing is like, Drake, you had an opportunity to do even a fraction of the defending that your OVO representatives, I don't know where the hell P&D is at, but all your OVO representatives that have said something on your behalf have done nothing but bow down to you and shown, like Baka went in there and showed him so much love. What have you heard Drake say in defense of any of them? Even on Heart Part 6, it was
nothing. He told him to be quiet. He told him to be quiet. He told him in the video, he said he'd sent me a message telling me not to say anything. If anything, he shut his own friend up from defending himself publicly. And he was like, yes, sir. Okay, anything you want, the boy. I got you,
wild.
You know what I'm saying? Like, me, I'll be like, fuck no. But the thing is that it's true, though. You know, Baka does have a weird case, and Drake still has him around. So it's not like he could have been like, no, I'm going to speak up. Fuck that. It's like, bro, it's best just to shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
Why is that a debate? Why did he get on that interview and say that this is debatable?
Bro, I feel like
because I got it. Because he did 11 months. The girl that he had under human trafficking that was 22 years old, she did not testify. And because she didn't testify, the charges were dropped. Right after Baka was released, Drake had put a post saying that I'm like that he's happy that he's home. So Drake was already tapped in with Baka at this time. Makes me feel like, I don't know, I'm keeping it alleged.
Right.
Why didn't she testify? Was it because she got a payday?
No. The video that I shared from the lady on TikTok, she said that she relocated. The witness allegedly relocated and did not disclose her address, so they couldn't subpoena her.
Right.
Oh, so she just ran away.
You gotta think about it. This the part they don't expect people to. The reason why he'll go on there and say something like that, and Drake will go do all the things that he's doing, because they don't expect people to do their own research and do critical thinking. It's like, bruh, think about all the women that you might have heard that was in a domestic violence situation. They're afraid for their life. They're not gonna go press charges or boo-boo because it might get worse. If you connected to somebody as powerful as Drake, why would I go press charges against this dude? Especially when the one charge he admitted to doing was assaulting me.
Yeah.
He already admitted to being violent towards me.
That was the one case that was the one charge that stood. No matter if she was there, which somebody said that must mean that there was indisputable evidence, whether visual, whether photos, whatever, that connected him to that. That's wild. Why would you voluntarily put yourself out there for the internet to do? You just created this live stream today. Why? Shout out to the 2,238 people that are here now, going to have their own conversations, do their own homework,
Exactly.
Like, that's why I say if this was a distraction plan, what the hell was the
you don't
end
see,
game?
you don't see it. Yeah, I see it. It's a double-edged sword for sure. But then you got to remember, UMG's lawsuit just updated. Shout out, absolutely, absolutely, because she had talked about an amicus in the lawsuit, and the amicus is a friend of the court. So this person that's a friend of the court doesn't have a dog in the race, but they do have information that will help the case. So they give it to the court, and they say that this is helpful for whatever you need to resolve between UMG and Drake. There's no side that they're choosing. They just come with information that they think will help the court in this lawsuit. But it could go either way. It could be 50-50. So if that's the case, maybe they think, well, this lawsuit is shot, because we don't know who these people are.
Right.
It's an individual though that the name is Joe Cat, but his name is Mr. Reyna. He said that he had given a flash drive to the needed parties that for the judge, I guess, in case he says yes to the information that he wants to give him, they could have access to whatever they give him, and people don't even know what it is that they're trying to give him. So it could go either way. It could go either way.
All I know is if it's something that is intended to bring down a machine like a UMG, that is not going to be an easy task, and it is going to be one that will be met with fire and fury that you have never seen, the likes you've never seen. If you are responsible, and I still wouldn't look at him as a martyr or a hero. I would look at it as he's so damn embarrassed that he decided that he was going.
Hell no.
It's like you ever see the movie Office Space?
I don't think so.
Okay, there's a movie called Office Space, and I don't want to give it away, but there was one particular character that they always used to make fun of. He didn't speak up for himself, so in the end of the movie, he burnt down the building. But he was like, he said, "I'm okay. You're not gonna give me back my stable. I'm gonna burn down the building." That was his whole shit, right? He burnt down the damn. I look at him more so like that. Like, no, you're not the hero in this case. Milton, yeah, his name was Milton. You're just doing that because your ass got, because we see who you really been this whole time.
Yeah.
Incredible. First of all, round of applause for these gentlemen. This right here, that's a cook-up. That's a cook-up.
Oh yeah, bro.
This was a cook-up.
Bro, I was telling you, I was going crazy last night. And then the other thing too, bro, I wanted to just put this out there too. 616 in LA and 4 p.m. in Calabasas have a lot of similarities that I had really thought. Think about 616 in LA. Why did Kendrick name it 616 in LA? It was to imitate Drake, right? That's why Drake did the Hard Part 6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're going to do 616 in LA. I do 5 a.m. in Toronto. I do 4 p.m. in Calabasas.
Right.
Well, I'm going to get back at you. I'm going to do the Hard Part 6.
Right.
It was because Kendrick did it first. But why did Kendrick do 616 in LA? It's because it's to imitate 4 p.m. in Calabasas. Where's Calabasas? Near the Hidden Hills. So.
Oh, shit.
You get what I'm trying to say, right? You get what I'm trying to say, right?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
You get what
That's crazy.
I'll pull it up, bro.
Crazy. That's crazy.
You know what I'm trying to say, though, right? Like,
yes.
Oh, you said more than what you needed to say. You said everything.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine?
That's crazy, bro.
Can you imagine a timestamp record? Okay, and then the timestamp record says 616 in LA, and then the first verse alludes to an imagery of someone. If you pull up that first verse, do you have that first verse in front of you, Vill?
I got 4 p.m. in Calabasas, but look at the date that it came out, the month and the year.
Oh my God!
It's June 2016. That's 616. And Drake was in LA or Calabasas when he was making this record. Drake was living in Hidden Hills when this record was released.
Oh,
you know what's fucked up?
Look at that! Look at that right there.
Right,
June 4, 2016, 616. in LA, in Calabasas, in California. So Kendrick was trying to tell us, out of all the songs that he names with timestamps and locations, this is the one that I'm talking about. This is the one where he talks about Kendrick and A$AP Rocky when he took him on tour. Look, check this out. In June 2016, for this release, says, I guess it's different in the city I come from. All of a sudden, I got people showing how much they truly resent me. The whole demeanor just spells envy. They trying to tempt me. Now, this is Drake talking about how people on his team are resenting him and they envy him and all of this, right? So going back to 616 in LA, like I said, it shares the same sentiments, same similarities, where Kendrick talks about how his entourage is only there to hustle you. 100 people you got on salary and 20 of them want you as a casualty. Now, I think that going back to this is showing us that Kendrick knows what's going on at Hidden Hills. Kendrick knows exactly what's going on. And the same similarities in the lyrics are showing you that, you know, going back to 616 in LA, the time matches the date of the song's release. Not only that, but it also has the similarities of when Drake is talking about people in his team resenting him. It also goes back to when Kendrick was saying that people want to see you as a casualty that you had on salary. The same similarities. Not only that, but Kendrick says, what would Mike do? And at the end, or at least not to the end or close to the end, Drake says something about Mike. He says, when they told me to take an R&B guy on the road and I told them no and drew for Kendrick and Rocky, I tried to make the right choices with the world watching. Mike never tried to rap like Pac and Pac never tried to sing like Mike, which makes me think, is this the reason why Kendrick had brought this up at the end of the song when he said what Mike would do?
Yo, Kendrick is cold as hell.
Yo, bro, he's diabolical. I mean that in the most respectable way possible. But
Kendrick is nice.
My thing is this, Jalopy. You know the moments in battle rap where somebody says something and you know it's something that only those two people know about?
Right.
And the reaction on the face makes the crowd say, oh, that meant something. That meant something. I feel like he's been playing that game. Everything from the details of like Gloria, everything from the details of putting certain imagery in the Super Bowl, putting certain imagery on TV, even the imagery of the peekaboo imagery and having the helping hand in the beginning. I just feel like he's playing a constant mind game that is not in the mainstream conversation because it's only for one person. You know how diabolical you got to be to launch this and then to have a UMG to finance it because you're an artist that has a partnership with them? That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's like, bruh, it's like these dudes, and it ain't just Kendrick either. You got The Weeknd throwing little subliminals in there. You got all different artists.
I gotta go over that.
Listen, and they putting out these bangers, and no matter where Drake go, he got to be reminded of all the stuff that he's hiding. That's gonna take a bro. That's gonna destroy your psyche.
How about this, Jalopy?
People playing dirty.
Jalopy, how about this? People forget about even the daily things that at the embassy, because he had to go to Australia for a reason. He had to get the hell up out of here. I thought about a few things. I saw on a live stream during the battle where he did some kind of live stream and he said his cat's name is Crody.
Crody.
Right.
Hey, Crody, some of your cheesing, fam. Honey, Crody. Your cat's named Crody. Who are you thinking about when you talk to your cat now? Crody takes on a whole nother connotation after Euphoria.
Hey, bro, that cat's dead, bro.
How about this? Wow, damn. I hope not. But then you think about this. The Tupac voice. Oh, why would you do that on Tailor Made? Especially when Kendrick comes back and it makes you feel stupid about it. And now the toilet. Remember the toilet thing that he talked about with Elliott Wilson?
Yeah.
He has a toilet that plays the ringtone California Love. Everywhere you go, even the ring is a reminder.
Yep. It don't
so
matter.
I don't buy this shit. Like even like during the Baka interview, they were like, I don't want to bore you with this, but last year a certain battle happened.
Yeah.
That's all they've been thinking about. They gotta knock this shit off.
That shit was so softball ass questions.
This is a mass like this. What Kendrick is what everybody thought Drake was psychologically prior to the battle.
Like a big deal, right?
Right, because before it felt like people believed since the situation that happened with Meek Mill that Drake was as strategic or as cunning or as as Kendrick Lamar would be, but it's like, bruh, somebody, that's the one thing. The more you understand yourself, the better you understand everybody else. When Kendrick Lamar go and do the whole Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, his arsenal for war just got stronger. You see what I'm saying? Like, now that he understands himself, he can turn around and dissect you to the core. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And understand what makes you tick and understand what, and that's really what's going on. Everywhere Drake go, everywhere Drake look, not only is he being reminded he lost the battle, but he's being reminded of all the things that he's hiding and that will potentially come out. Like he's in a bad spot, bro. Like,
well,
it's
when
crazy.
People talk about Chapo, Meek Mill brought up Quentin Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Like Quentin Miller is what kind of trickled down this whole ghostwriter like situation that's occurring now. When Chapo coming out, all that shit is coming back to bite him in the ass because you had people write for you, have people upset. That whole Chapo interview, Akademiks TV and all of them are trying to get that shit nipped in the bud. They want to make sure that shit is completely like fixed.
They already doing what we was talking about earlier. The flat, because that's the tactic. It's called flat, where wherever somebody whoever got that type of information, if you see a whole bunch of even when we did the collective, that episode where you seen King Jared and all the Drake side start creating montages, that's like coordinated propaganda that like they know what they're doing, and it's like the reason why they attacking Chapo is because he has the information. Wherever all that goes, wherever all the flat goes, that's what they want to slow down and change the narrative around to maintain Drake's fan base. You see what I'm saying?
Nobody fights harder than a wounded dog. And I feel like right now what we're seeing are people who do not want to believe that this is the beginning of the end.
At all.
And there's actual platforms that have built credibility, like NFR, for instance. I saw
we're keeping it tall today.
Yeah, where I'm like, wait a minute.
Today. Yes, sir.
I was like, what are we? Because my thing is this: we are the new media.
Right.
And there's a lot of journalists who have like for instance, like Justin, that's my dog forever because of the things that he tells me of things that I know have been gatekept from other people who want to get into this space. And all the folks like Wayno and Rob have shown nothing but love and even respect to this space of YouTube. But there's a lot of folks out there who, don't like what this space represents. And it's like, there's a reason why 2,400 people just showed up here on something they didn't know about till today. There's a reason why they're going in droves to the content that you're putting out, Jalopy. There's a reason people are sitting here for hours on end as you're discovering new things, Vill. You know what I mean? Like, and it's because of its quality and it's because it's connecting dots that are not relying upon keeping half-ass relationships in the industry. I don't give a shit about the relationship in the industry. Right. My thing now is don't fuck around and make a bad mistake by trying to side with something that maybe you have financial investment or some kind of money or whatever. Don't side with them as a platform that has credibility. Lose that shit, and then them people come to us.
Happy Dad advertisement. Don't take the Happy Dad ad, bro.
Don't do it.
Hey, listen.
Don't do it, because if they come to us,
bruh, hell no. And that's why you gotta be. That's why in any scenario, becoming self-sufficient in your life is extremely important because survival is the ultimate instinct. Whenever that's tested, you might do anything. So you got to be self-sufficient. You got to find ways to create for yourself. You got to find ways to keep your mental intact, all of that, because all of these things will end up being used against you. Like, you got to be able to do that. And that's what happens when you see an NFR podcast, who once people see are credible, but then we see, why are you trying to sell us this story that this dude don't got a weird case and I can Google it?
Yeah, bro.
I can go to Google right now and find it.
My thing is this.
That was bad.
What if that's not part, since we do in the conspiracy bag, what if that's not part of the plan to begin with? I know who to give this information to because they can't help but share it, even without double checking it, even without sourcing it. And by them sharing it, the same party that is extinguishing will voluntarily go out. They'll voluntarily. There are people right now, you don't even have to find a smoking gun. They're doing like this. Here you go, right here.
Right.
This is me. I'm on camera. I'm saying it right now. I did it. And they doing that and then saying, but I bet you ain't got no proof. You just said it. You just got 40 reaction videos that dropped the last hour. This is where it feels like it's a bigger war than just, you know, versus rappers. This feels like a spiritual war at a level. This feels like there is a war between truth and between convenient truth and just flat out lies
everywhere. This is why I say, like, I think it's extremely important, because some people might see, like, I think everybody plays a role in this community, right? You got, like, everybody does different things. You're a community builder. You see what I'm saying? You create the platforms to get the voices like us to get our information out there. You're a community builder. We got guys like the Vill who are doing the dirty work to break down the information. We got in everybody's corner. And it's because this is a natural energy that's occurring where, in, you know what I'm saying, not to get too deep, but in the age that we're in, community is necessary, and that's what we're building. So anything that isn't authentic or anything that is against that is taking a back seat or is going back a few steps. And it's like, it's not just hip hop, it's politics. It's you seeing the same thing with the trade war. You seeing the same thing that happened in this battle is happening with the trade war. The same thing is like it's all over the world. There's a major shift going on. You see what I'm saying? And the side that you decide to play in is the side that will end up deciding where you go. You feel me? So like, you either on the side of authenticity and truth or convenience.
I love it. I love that folks is showing their colors and I'm like, usually you had to dig for it. You talk about 10 years ago, you had to dig for it because people will play both sides. Now they'll just say it. And it's like, thank you. I'm taking notes now.
Right.
Man, round of applause for both of y'all. I want to end this with some final words from both of y'all, because this is incredible. And this cannot be the last time, because I think they're banking on this being a temporary connection, right? There's obviously more names that I would have liked to get here, but one thing I've learned from Culture United, one thing I've learned from the collective is that there is value also in having these kind of like these three panel back and forth conversations. And I definitely want to have, maybe one more person on there to come on and have this conversation. But somebody said, "Where's Moni?" Don't you worry about Cousin Moni. I got something so special playing with Cousin Moni that I pray that you never ask again what happened to Cousin Moni, because that's for real my cousin, even if that's not my blood cousin. We got something playing amazing. Read My Soul has been in here showing love. Of course, Big Kish and of course Big Zoe TV. They're banking on us never wanting to look across the board and share our platforms with each other. But that we are the difference. We're the difference that is happening here. Final words that y'all got about either the situation, or maybe you want to share your platform with the folks that are here. But yeah, go ahead and take it away. Jalopy, you first.
I want to say first and foremost that I think we all play, whether consciously or unconsciously, we all playing on the same team. And I think it's important to recognize that. I think it's important to create, branches with each other, the way you're creating with us, and etc., and to allow people's individualism as well. You know what I mean? So at the same time, we're building together to also allow independence, individualism, independent thought, independent, you know what I'm saying? Like, just understanding ourselves as independent people, but also recognizing that we can come together and build together as well. And I think it's very important because we've seen this happen before. And I'm not saying we are the Black Panthers, but what I'm saying is when you see a collective idea coming together, they hate that. They hate community. Community is the most dangerous thing to any corporation, to any establishment, because that's when ideas are created. That's when movements are created, when action is taken. They hate action. So the more we do this, and the more we gather our independent fan bases as well, the more we have to say so in the narrative. And it's important that we had to say so in the narrative, because we got to protect hip hop, and protecting hip hop is protecting our culture outside of hip hop as well.
That part. To me, that's the way I heard a gentleman say, gatekeeping is not about keeping people out. It's about making sure that the right people get in.
Absolutely.
Right. We want community. We want to be able to commune. We want to be able to, like, Vill, there's certain skills that you have, bro. Like I don't know if how much you really think about this, but you got a God-given gift for making these connections in real time. To do this live without doing prior research, there's journalists that look at you crazy. The
Hey,
fact
bro,
that you be like, you'll sit
Hey,
here
bro.
and you be like, look at this a little closer. Shit, just came to me. That shit is so player to me. That shit is so player because you'll be in there. You'll be like,
Absolutely.
I've been figuring this shit out, bro.
let's go back to 616 LA. Okay, there you go right there. I love that shit. That shit is so player to me because I'm like, regular TV
Bro.
production would never let that happen, bro. And that's why it's so authentic and people love it. But final words for the people, Vill.
Oh man, nah, I appreciate it. Nah, you said it best, man. I be doing this shit. You see, I'm real different when I do a pre-recorded video and I do a live. When I do a pre-recorded video, I'm trying to monetize that shit because I don't want that shit to get yellow. So I'm trying to make sure that shit come out clean, bro. I'll be saying understage instead of underage. I'll be doing all the crazy extra shit, censor shit. But when I'm live, dog, it's whatever. And a lot of people say like, damn, I like his lives a lot more. And a lot of people be like, bro, did you see the live last night? And I'm like, yeah, that shit was crazy. And I'll be like, hell yeah. So I always appreciate anybody tapped in. Like when you tapped in, bro, I was like, damn, I was going at this bitch for like 4 hours, bro. Going crazy. Like you saw what, and it's not just me, bro. Oh, and that's another thing, bro. Oh, I'm JV, by the way. I'm JV from the Vill. The Vill is just the channel. The people in the Vill. It's a place, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like that's where we all come. That's where the people go and see y'all, and they come over here and they see me. But this is just a place. I'm just a person in the place. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
don't you try to hootie in the blowfish me. His name is Hootie. All right. His name is Hootie. Okay. I don't care what his real name is. His real name is Hootie. Don't you come here and tell me your name is JV. You the Vill, man. Stop playing with me. Okay. All right. It's gonna take me a second. Have patience with me. It's gonna take me a second.
Now you good, bro. It's either way. I don't really mind. But yeah, bro. And I just love doing all this shit. I love doing breakdowns. That's really how I got into it. Was because I was like, well, how do I say it? Like, when the platform started becoming compromised, you really couldn't get the news the way you wanted to, and in some type of way, you kind of just felt like nobody's talking about this. You know what I'm saying? So I started tackling these topics and decided to just talk about the other topics that like piqued my interest. And that's how I got real into like the investigation, the journalism, the research, because I started to understand like what you were saying, Jalopy, I got to look at this shit myself.
Yeah.
Because like they're not going to give it to you the way that it's supposed to be given to you.
Dog.
So I'm trying to cut it into pieces so where people could just watch the video and be like, oh, okay, so this is what this is about. This is what the other side isn't talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing is like, I do this because like, bro, I just love hip hop, bro. I just love rap music, bro. And I did all of this research because I've been following the music since I was a kid. So all of this shit, it just becomes all of this. What I do now is just an outcome of me being into rap music so much. So I appreciate being able to have this opportunity to be up here with y'all, here with you, because bro, I'm an Absol fan, bro. I'm talking to a guy that did a song with Absol, bro. The tree of life, bro. I've been listening to that shit since I was a kid, bro.
Let me tell you this, Vill. I don't make content with the assumption that my homies, whether I met them through the industry, whether I've known them before the industry, I make no assumptions they watch my content, right? I just make the content, I put it out there. Whoever shows up, I show love back and say thank you.
Right.
I talked to Soul about a month ago, and he said, I love what you're doing with the platform. And he said, it's not a matter of if I'm coming to the platform. It's just a matter of when. He said, I want to make sure I got something to bring to the platform, whether new music, whatever the case may be. And I said, say less. What I'm saying is that we all got the same internet, and you never know why your video comes up. You never know where somebody may be to go watch one of your videos. What y'all all do matters, because I remember there was a point in time on television on BET when we can get Team Summit. We can get like Bun B and whoever else was influential in the time to have roundtable conversations just like this. I think they strategically cut that out. Because when those conversations happen, we have conversations within our own communities, within our own families, and they know the domino effect when people start thinking for themselves. So these, to me, are the new Teen Summers. These are the new panels. These are the new, Jack the Ripper conferences and all these different things. We are that in this space. It's just that the old guard legacy media sometimes doesn't see the foresight of it because it doesn't look as clean and pristine and is not sponsored by major brands or major labels are not involved. I'm just telling you right now, y'all keep doing the amazing work that y'all are doing. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We're living in a time period now where y'all are doing things that y'all are passionate about, and it's getting the views too. I just want to salute y'all. That's it. That's it.
It's a new era. It's a new era worldwide. Worldwide, man. Worldwide.
Absolutely. Come on. So I'm gonna spend a few minutes and I'm gonna go ahead and thank everybody here on the super chats. You're more than welcome to hang out, but I want to make sure that I acknowledge the folks that gave to the super chat. I know you said you got to get out of here, Jalopy.
Yeah.
But I'm about to go through these.
Before I get out of here, though, just want to say once again, I don't know if you know, but you're doing a special thing with the community building. And I know it's difficult to see things. It's very difficult to see things in real time.
Right.
But I think a year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we look back and we recognize that this move and these moves that you've been making have been extremely beneficial to the extension of this culture, the extension of what we love. We protecting this shit. But what you're doing, you feel me? And shout out to the Vill too. You feel me? Doing the research.
No. Shout out to JV.
All right, but I'm gonna catch y'all. Appreciate y'all. And JV, hey, we gotta do something. Tap in with me, bro.
Oh yeah, bro. Hit me up, bro. I was gonna thank you, bro, for the live, bro, because I would have never known that if you didn't do that video. So I appreciate it, dog. I want to thank you like the best way I can. Thank you, bro. I'm glad to have you on the video. And
vice versa, bro. Tap in with me. Let's work.
That's somebody's fun. That's somebody's dangerous last words. Hey, Vill, here's Jalopy here. Let's tap in. Let's do something together. That's somebody's terrified to hear that right there. That right there is hidden heels on the back of a jacket right now.
All right, y'all. Love y'all. Appreciate everybody that's watching. You feel me? And I'm gonna catch y'all, man.
Salute. All right, let me go ahead and acknowledge all of these super chats that's in here. Latrice, thank you so much. Briscoe, the King, appreciate you. Miss Rec too. You Paul the surgeon and my favorite Mexican. They had surgery, so I'm gonna be good. Just had surgery. Oh, we hope you have a smooth recovery with that surgery. Thank you for the super chat. Artificial Pixel. I've been waiting for this conversation. My antenna's been up since Drake mentioned that's not my sister in Fighting Irish and my dad's a pimp. He'll blame his daddy in the end. Oh no. Shout out to you for the super chat. Zach Royal could be reaching, but didn't the Weeknd have a song called The Hills?
Yeah. I'm about to get into it, bro. Tap in, bro.
Oh no. Famous last words for somebody. Flat out fudge. Vlad said, oh no, AK, not this time. Nah. Not
this time.
X the joke dealer said Hidden Hills about to get rated too. It's only a matter of time. How many lines do he got that's just gonna keep coming to life? Like how hard did you how long did you have to plan this out? 17
days, was it?
I'm talking about way before. You know, he been planning this way before on that tour. I think on that tour when he was like, look, I just imagine Kendrick on tour with him and ASAP. He looked around and he said, so this is what you do. Say less. One day you'll regret that I saw this. I know too much now. Chocolate Tie said, I think in that Splash Brothers song, Drake says something about him and Lucien being like Shaq and Kobe.
Shaq and Kobe, yeah, it does, bro.
Well, ironically enough, Shaq and Kobe didn't get along for a minute, and Shaq left the Lakers and ended up winning a ring with the Heat.
Oh, Curtis, what do you think about that? Because in that same bar right after that, he says, and that's why I don't think I'll ever be independent.
My thing is this: Drake will never get the opportunity to be true independent, and meaning that I don't think he'll be able to use his leverage as we see it today to get some of the opportunities he had because of the way he left his building. The way you leave your last job is going to have an effect on how you get your new job. And I feel like if he is employing himself and saying, okay, OVO was officially independent, we went through that terrible lawsuit, now we're going to do things for ourselves, he's going to try to access third-party companies and vendors, and it wouldn't surprise me if he got issues with his PayPal. It wouldn't surprise me on a very small scale like that, his merchandise. Because my thing is, what resources do you have unless you're going to finance all of those? And what makes you think you're going to walk away with the same money that you have now without getting bled from UMG after a lawsuit?
Well, I did a video talking about how he used third-party marketing for content of rewards. So he was basically paying people to listen to his music, and whoever did the best video or reaction to the video, like on TikTok, would get paid an X amount of money, specifically $1,000 for 1 million views, was the content rewards that the marketer was trying to promote for the song Nokia.
This man I saw your video. This man turned into his own form of streaming. He just created his own form of streaming. $1,000 for 1 million. If I get you 1 million views,
that's crazy though. That's a ripoff though.
$1,000
for 1 million views that you created yourself for him.
Crazy. That's crazy, especially when you a damaged dog out here. We know your brand is not at the same place. The hills have eyes. Yes, they do confuse. Playlist. Thank you for the super chat. High 3, unforgettable featuring Jeezy versus K. Holy Ghost. Oh, no explanation, but I appreciate the super chat on that one. Big Zo TV said, bruh, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to you.
Shout out Big Zo, man. Big Zo, what up, bruh?
I like these smaller, like I think I talked about in the last collective, but I want to do like smaller, like we just all come together on these smaller, especially for
it's better. It's less talk,
Yeah, it's like instead of playing 5-on-5, like now it's like 3-on-3. It's tournament stuff. I think this is dope. This is dope. I like this. It's a lot. I'll tell you this. It's a lot easier for people to get the word in or get a word in. Flat out fudge. I know you're not rocking with Ye, but a soundbite from going to jail off Monday would be perfect for times like this. Somebody go. No, if anything, I wouldn't use his vocal. I use my own. I said, because they said if Will Smith, but you better be careful. Will Smith gonna slap you for talking about his song. I said, I guess you're going to jail tonight. He ain't slapping a damn body. Shit. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Deluxe said, glad to be here, fellas. Glad to have you here, fam.
Hey, salute, bro.
New beginnings 2025. Now, this is how you chop the head of the snake. Shout out to Curtis King, JV. I'm about to get used to that. The Vill, Jalopy, Big Zo TV, Big Kish, Cousin Moan. This is culture. Look, I've been on YouTube for 9 years, and this is probably about 10th year now. I've never, and I've been in a producer community, I've been in a rap community, I've never seen so many YouTubers show up to each other's platforms to support in the way that we did, especially over this last year. It's something that is very interesting to see, especially in a hip-hop space online. And most of the folks, we've never met each other in person, but it's a beautiful thing to see, man.
Hell yeah, bro. Bro, Big Kish, Big Kish reacted to me when I only had like 1K, maybe less than that.
Yeah. Because you're making good at. I don't judge your content by your subscribers. I judge your content by your content. If it's fire, the people need to see it. If anything, I'll be looking for those hidden gems. It's like, oh, y'all didn't do your homework. Look at this video right here. I love those. Cowboy Politics, thanks for the super chat. Drake doesn't even realize he is dying a slow death. This is just UMG's first wave of attacks. Drake just better try to get humble quick. It's too late now. It's too late. The toothpaste is out of the tube. You can't put it back in. You've done too much. I think exactly. UMG death by 1,000 cuts. Thank you, Shay Shay. The moment he made this a public matter, the moment a press release went out that said, I am petitioning a lawsuit against UMG, that was the end. You gonna embarrass me after I didn't pay you all this money? I gave you the platform. You wouldn't be who you are without the energy and the finance and the planning and all the marketing we've done.
So does he think that he's gonna get like Kendrick's gonna get more money than him? Is that like what ever served the purpose to seeing a contract like that?
I assume that he wants to see if there's any extra perks that were thrown in that may be able to help his lawyers connect an extra incentive they have to Kendrick winning this battle. So, for instance, if you're able to pull it's a stretch no matter what, but if you're able to pull, you know how like certain NBA contracts, and I don't know anything about these contracts, but NBA contracts will have perks and incentives if you make the All-Star game or if you win a championship, you'll get paid extra. I wonder if that's what they're reaching for, to see if there's going to find anything they can connect to why they would have incentive to unfairly promote Kendrick's records, his diss records over Drake's. And he just doesn't understand. They just weren't better than Kendrick's. He didn't even do what he's known for. Shout out to Glasses. Bless you. I know you over there coughing. He didn't even do what he's known to do. Not one time did you get Drake singing on a hook. None of them records felt like Drake records. They felt like Drake and 40 throwaway records at times, where he'll give you one with no, he didn't make not one signature. And a timestamp one never happened. Kendrick got to that before he did. Andre F says, somebody's going to have to tell the truth, and I'm going to tell it. Surgical episode. More, please. I definitely want to see that. Shay, didn't K-Dot say Anita in the tape deck? UMG, death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, he did in GNX.
Anita in the tape deck.
Anita. Fucking Ebony Prince. Oh, my God. No, wait. Well, hold on. I'm gonna get ahead of myself.
I'm thinking Anita Max Win.
Anita Max Win.
But he talking about Anita Baker, obviously, in that lyric, but Anita in a tape deck.
Well, Kendrick always mentions Anita Baker, does he not?
For sure.
But there's a whole other thing that, it's because things like that, it get me going, bruh. I start tripping out. I start thinking about all the shit in my head. But
what you supposed to do? She did it on purpose. Shay did that to plant a seed because she know what you about to do with that. Drake don't have paperwork because he put it all in the music. Shout out to Zach Royal.
He put it all in the music is crazy.
Oh, thank you for the super chat. Misha B said Drake forgot he was made. His career not organic. Ooh, thank you for that super chat. That's real. New Beginnings 2025 said Equalizer 1, Curtis King. Equalizer 2, JV the Vill. Equalizer 3, Jalopy. Drake is every villain in all three. Y'all are demolishing the boy. Refreshing. Added refreshing at the end got me in tears. Thank you for the super chat. D Quill says Kendrick lyric, riding in my GNX with Anita Baker in a tape deck. It's gonna be a sweet love.
So it was a response back to what I feel like that coincides with what we were talking about today, bro.
See, everybody's you got to do a breakdown on this. I don't know enough about this portion right here.
Can we revisit Drake's Anita Baker bar in that song? Yeah, I'll do a breakdown, bro, because Anita's been talked about a lot at this point in time.
Surgical hyperbole, allegedly. Can you please stop saying that word? You know how much that was kicking my ass.
Hyperbole?
Hyperbole. I said a bunch of things. I said hyperbole. I said hyperbolic. I said
hey, I went to public school, bro. I ain't knocking you, bro. I went to public school, bro. That's it, bro.
The thing is, like, I had no excuse for that. I want to hear your take on the original Nokia song popping up from producer Elkin. You got any thoughts on that one?
I want to hear your take on the original Nokia song popping up. Oh, okay, yeah. So apparently the guy had made the beat. From my understanding, the reference track it came out. And I feel like what gets me out of the whole situation is how the other side, Akademiks and all of them, are trying real hard to defend this narrative. But, like, I don't understand why people are making a big deal about reference tracks at the same time. Mm-hmm. Like, why are they pushing reference tracks to defend out of all these things that are being said? Vlad with Hidden Hills, Ebony Prince. Oh, let's just talk about reference tracks. like we don't know that Drake already writes, like, people write for him all the time. Like, I think there's other situations that they choose not to talk about when there's shit like this going on. They don't even bring up the UMG lawsuit with the Abacus individual that's trying to bring information to the case. There's a lot of things that they're refusing to talk about and defend. They rather defend reference tracks, which I find kind of odd because we know that Drake writes or ghost writes all the time.
Mm-hmm. Or he has the ghostwriters. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, some of that might be a little bit of fan action too, right? Where anytime he has a win, the same way OVO, MAGA does, and when Kendrick has a win, they got to find a way to try to discredit it. That still exists. We can't act like it doesn't exist. Where he finally has a moment where it looks like that song is doing really, really well on the charts, And then all of a sudden, a YouTube video pops up that shows the kid saying all the parts that people are repeating. To me, this feels like a continuous stressing or continuous campaign to discredit any credibility he has left as a creative, any credibility he has left as anytime you like something, they're like, he did not the one that came up with that. Even the baby girl, I was like, that was the only thing that felt catchy from that song. The kid said that in the video. The producer said it in the video.
Yeah, he came up with the hook. He for sure came up with the hook, and he made the beat. And the thing is that I think Chaco and they all say it's all because of UMG, bro. They saying UMG pulling the, they're letting it go. They're letting everybody know, like, hey, let's get all these people talking, all these writers that Drake did something with. Let's get them all talking. That could be the other thing, right? UMG decided to let everybody that worked with Drake in the past, let them expose him, because how many times have these people just stayed quiet for these many years? So they just don't talk. All of a sudden, UMG just happens. And then now they just want to start talking.
That's why I think they're letting some of this stuff go, because, they can cease and desist anything they want. How many times you got hit by a UMG, copyright claim or whatever the case may be, and it happens immediately. There's some stuff I think they're just like, this guy can't be this stupid. Oh, yes, he is. We've been around him for 15 years. Let it go. He thinks he's going to win something with this. Let it go, because he's only burying himself in the process in terms of public opinion. The one of PP. K-Dot shows love to his city and puts the spotlight on others in there, while Lobry Graham Cracker takes from his city and puts the spotlight on him. I'm telling you, thank you so much, Jay, for the super chat. Exo Chitleon, thank you so much. Deluxe, Kendrick Lamar did surgery on Drake. He only he done.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. But I get the sentiment. Oh man, Drake shot 100 in Compton on June 16th.
No way.
There's no way. There's no way that guy shot. Are you serious, Jay? That date is going to haunt him for the rest of his life. Read my soul. A year later, we still unpacking his body.
The Collector.
The Collector.
Shout out. Read my soul, bro.
Man, one of my favorites out here. New Beginnings 2025. Picking up my jaw off the ground. Yeah, that was one of the, after we made that, after you made one of those connections, they was losing it in there. Don't let that white guy see this. He steals this as we speak. 2,000 of y'all saw this. I don't think whoever you're thinking about takes from people that get 2,000. They usually wait till they get like only like 20, 15. Reddit posts. We're talking about the same guy. Quentin working with Ye now. Push introduced him to Ye. Well, that's interesting. What? Thank you for the super chats, by the way. Bagladon, Bageldon, Bagladon, Fantamos, thank you. Samantha, thank you. Where's Moni, fam? Oh, we got something planned, Samantha. I promise you. Frank T, some of my favorite cousins. Great collab, man. Thank you for being here. All right, let's keep it going. So who else we got here? Steven says, hey, Curtis, are you going to react to Jalopy's J. Cole video? Dope discussion today. You're the second person that asked me about that. I think I haven't checked it out yet, but I see it keep getting fed on my timeline. I just haven't had a chance. I've been trying to stay away from the J. Cole stuff because I want him to land his point, because I feel like Port Antonio, I might have jumped the gun like a lot of channels did, but I jumped the gun and I was more so I had to like check myself, because all I saw was blood. Like I was bloodthirsty. I was like, is we rapping or not? And we came in there with all that common sense and all that shit. I was like, trying to hear that shit. Trying to hear some bars. And then when you come back and be like, I'm the closest to Hov. Like, I'm not saying I'm Hov, but I'm the closest one to it. I'm like, stop doing that. I was a little bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
Do you want to battle? It's like every time you pick up, you playing 2K, and then your homie like, man, you trash at this, bro. Like, I gotta be one of the greatest ones. If I played you, you wouldn't be able to see me. I'm Muhammad Ali of this. Here's a controller play. I apologize because I said some things. No, And then when you
run it, yeah,
run that,
it,
it's just rap. But I mean, to his credit, he did put out
like Clouds. Did you like Clouds? Was it good?
I did like Clouds a lot. I liked it a lot.
Sniped when I was listening to it the first time.
You said what?
Like, I got stream sniped. Like they cut my water off. Like as soon as, when I was reacting to it online.
They didn't get me on that one. Hip hop. Deez's voice. Thank you for the super chat. Summer Beans. Thank you for the super chat. Wicked NC. Y'all think Drake really going down? I think he's skating. You must be new here. You must be new here if you think that this is not the downfall.
Yeah, it's documented right now. Allegedly.
I think that right now, you know what it looks like? It's like a team that's down 3-0, but they blow the team out in the fourth game. They just blow them out, and you're like, damn, the tide is changing. And then the next game, like I think this is what this album has presented to you. Like, oh, he's barely scathed. He's barely unscathed. He's barely scathed. No. What I think people got to recognize, and I'm sure you got something on this too. The success of sexy songs for whatever he said it was, the success was going to be inevitable. They were going to ensure that project looked as successful as it could. Why? Because part of the lawsuit is trying to prove that UMG defamed him, and it's affected his ability to chart, his ability to make money, his reputation is in the tank. If I have a #1 album as your employer, and I've given you all of the resources you're used to getting, that's not going to be good for the case you're trying to prove.
Yeah, and another thing that they could argue is that Drake could argue that point in court, right? But the way that they could counter is, well, he's not being suppressed, because you could go to Apple Music right now and he's right there. So the thing is that there's no way that even if they said, oh, well, look at all my numbers, they're going down because of all this bullshit, right? That's happening with the beef. But they could be like, well, realistically, we're giving you the promotion that we always give you. Not only that, we're trying to actually boost you up on the homepage. I go to the homepage right now and Drake is on there. Like, everybody could see it. So when they talk about suppression and when they talk about him being blackballed, there's no way that any evidence proves that. So even if he tries to say that they're trying to suppress me, or they're trying to do these type of things that are trying to make Kendrick better than me, it's not going to matter at the end of the day, because UMG is going to have to prove, look, bro, they're just not messing with you right now. They're just messing with him. It's just the change of the tide. Like you said, like, you're not bringing in as much money as you can.
Right.
And even if it may be because of the beef, you started the beef.
Wait, I'll add something on top of that. Before the beef started, someone put out the information that the majority of the income that Drake makes on his catalog is from albums that were 6 years before the battle. So there's already been a documented decline in terms of after he got his deal, the crazy deal everybody talks about, the 400 million plus, whatever it was reported. He is supposed to be recouping that, which shouldn't be difficult for him being on tour and releasing all the music he does. But they've already said that the majority of the money that he was generating was off of a catalog that was 6 years ago. You know how many projects he put out since that 6 years?
Shit, he dropped like 3 or 4 already.
So my vantage point is, if I'm a business, I'm watching the decline, no matter even if it's a very high decline, right? Based upon, how high he's been up. I'm already seeing like, oh, it's almost like watching LeBron. LeBron is still one of the best players in the league, but based upon his vertical jump or his vertical, the way he can jump in the air, like his vert is different now. He don't got them boosties and bunnies he used to have. I think it's the same thing with Drake, is that based upon the emphasis that mainstream rap puts on age, based upon him kind of aging himself out of the demographic, based upon all the artists that he seems to be relying upon in terms of being in the conversation. Like, at some point, they're going to want to replace this and bring somebody that's new, younger energy, newer, and is more, somebody they can influence more. This is the beginning of the end, no matter what happens. I just think that this was, as my guy Read My Soul said, the canon event.
Oh yeah, like Spider-Man. Yeah,
this is the canon. This was the canon event. Like, it was already inevitable. Shout out to Summer Beans. Appreciate you. Dennis the Menace says, salute to JV and Curtis and Jalopy. One day I'm gonna get my extra S. Always waiting for the next video live stream post from y'all. Thank you for making these crazy days more enjoyable. We got you. We got you. Afro Butterfly. A panel of U+3 is the cap. This was manageable. Yeah. See, this does for like 3. Like if we did 4 total, including myself, I think that's the way we get an even conversation going. Riding in my GNX with Anita Baker in the tape deck. You get it now? Drake said Anita slapping in the whip.
Slapping in the whip. Anita slapping. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
This is your world. I don't. My brain said
this my people, dog.
My brain. The hamster was like.
He's like, hold up. I got it, bro. I'll break it down. I'm gonna do the Anita Baker, y'all. I'm gonna do it. Everybody tap in. I'm gonna do the Anita Baker breakdown. I'm gonna try to see what I can find.
Come on. Thank you for the super chat. Shell Shock said Drake should go back to acting. He does it well. Hollywood will embrace him because the culture is not. My thing is, I wouldn't want to go anywhere close to anything that's adjacent because Universal doesn't just do music; they do movies. You're not getting away with it. You're not getting away from this. And they all, the thing is, these label heads, these CEOs have relationships with each other. They go golfing together. Their families go to school together. Once you exit yourself out the family, that's why they call them allegedly the real mob. There ain't no life that exists outside of it after you've enjoyed the fruits of the labor. You've enjoyed the fruits of being in this environment. You can't just go live your life happily ever after as an actor. Boy, they're gonna put him on TV before he know it. Go ahead.
You know what makes it strange though is that he moves out of LA. He starts and think about what the lyrics that everybody's talking about now, because besides the Anita Baker lyrics, he's talking about a situation where he thought that him and Lucien were Kobe and Shaq. Where did the change happen? You know, you sell all your property in LA, you leave. You start trying to sell all these albums really fast, trying to get out of your contract. What changed? You were saying you were Kobe and Shaq with Lucien, and now you're dropping like 4 or 5 albums trying to get out of this contract. Akademiks, your biggest supporter, saying that you don't want to be in your deal anymore. What happened that was so abrupt to the change in this way that you look at UMG? And then right after the beef, you take it back on UMG. What's going on?
To add even more insult to injury, you telling on people before you leave out the building that, oh, you know what they do inside the building? Payola. I got proof of it. Can I get the documents so I can show everybody? You gonna put our dirty laundry out? Just allegedly, you gonna put my dirty laundry out here after I done gave you 400 million plus? Oh, it's gonna be hell for you after this situation. Like, even, and then let's just say in some imaginary OVO imagination that he does get a settlement outside of court. That is going to be the most expensive settlement that he'll ever take home.
Yeah, anybody like in the music industry ever, right?
That's going to be the last bit of money you're going to ever get your hands on again.
You saw that I don't think it's true. I think it's very iffy. But they're saying that the settlement of 250 mil could be on the table.
I saw that.
But that was just that was just like a rumor. But do you think that they will settle out of court for this?
No, not a damn chance. I think that at this point now you made it personal. At this point, you want us to disclose something that can change our entire business model or put even more emphasis. Like, first of all, it'd be one thing if you were legitimately saying this before the battle ever happened. If you said, look, there's things going on here, and I want to be the one that becomes a martyr and exposes this. But the fact that you do this after you see you voluntarily jumped into a battle that you should have known you were not equipped for. You saw it play out as they supported an artist that is also on their roster. And then you turn around and say, well, guess what? I know your dirty laundry and I'm going to share it with the rest of the world. And they like, My boy, do you not know that we know about all the shit that you've been doing? You know what? Matter of fact, let's remind you what we know. This is just me using a full brain. Let's remind you what we know. Vlad, can you do us a favor?
Oh shit.
I come from the world of wrestling, so I like to connect dots like that sometimes. I look at it and I'm like, how hard would it be for somebody to say, we have indisputable evidence that some things happen in this particular location. Now, in the midst of this win that he just got a week later, Vlad just happens to say something after he doesn't say anything about anybody's case.
But you know what's so concerning about that is what's going on with Big U and the whole indictment that's going on with them. They're looking at No Jumper, they're looking at Akademiks, they're looking at Vlad TV, and all the people that have been on there and all the interviews that they do. It's similar to what Jalopy was saying. They're not criticized for being wrong. They're more criticized for getting people to answer questions that they ask them. And that's the problem, is that now they also have information from people that they've interviewed or talked when the cameras are off. So whatever stories that Vlad heard about in Hidden Hills, the cops are going to listen to that, just like they listen to the Big U situation. Well, hold on. What does he mean by that? Why is he saying that? And why is he making sure that Akademiks isn't preventing him from shutting up?
Bro, and I'm telling you right now, you know, I don't want to take it too deep into that conversation because that's a whole nother stream in itself. But I think that's part of the reason why Kanye is glitching out the way he is too. Because 7 years ago, you had video of him talking very publicly about exchanging money and doing business to build schools with Big U.
Oh yeah, it's true, right?
Rico happens. All of a sudden, you see what's the old girl's name? Not, I always mix Iggy.
Oh yeah.
Iggy was mad that Kanye was mentioning her child, and she said everybody in the industry knows a very badly kept secret about you and the things that you do, and she put all that stuff on Twitter. And then all of a sudden you get him saying anything that he possibly can. I'm sorry, my theory is this nigga is fake crazy, and I'm gonna stand by that. His ass is fake crazy. I seen that, and I said, oh, the walls are caving in. And when the walls cave in and you know that you're guilty of what somebody could accuse you of, I probably will play crazy too, right? I probably would be like, how can I take the attention away from this? I just think the timing of it is insane. And I don't think that this decision to go to court for Drake, I think that did everybody in. I think there's going to be a lot of people affected by this that we're going to be very, very surprised about in the next 6 months.
Now, you think Kanye was distracting the people for Drake?
I wouldn't be surprised, because the thing about it is they both seem to have secrets.
Oh, yeah. Kanye's worked with questionable people. I think in Vultures, he worked with somebody who had crazy allegations, you know what I'm saying? PDF.
And then who did he say? Who did he get on the phone with when all of this stuff started to get at his hottest? Who did he call in jail? Who did Kanye call in jail?
Did he? Damn.
Who did he criticize?
Crazy, right?
Who did he criticize on Drink Champs about being part of the same system that he's?
I see what you're saying. You're saying that he's defending Diddy now because if it happens to him, he could be like, they're just trying to take down.
No. That's a good one. This is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
The tapes are no longer in his hands. Who is the last? If any of this stuff that we're hearing from Iggy, and we're just all allegedly, if any of this stuff is allegedly about Kanye and some of the freaking things that's out there, if there are tapes, who would you want to get in contact with if it happened at one of these parties?
Oh, hit up Diddy or Whack 100. Who am I? That's true.
He's very strategic about the people he doesn't play crazy with. You notice that? He was very critical of Diddy not even a year ago on a Drink Champs when Diddy was free. Now that he's in jail, all of a sudden, with all that evidence has been confiscated, all of a sudden it's,
I see what you're saying.
Diddy. My thing is, if you got my dirty laundry, if you got my secrets, you might have to be my best friend too, because you got leverage over me. Now, all of a sudden, this Big U situation goes, and I think all the shit that he's saying right now is the craziest thing that somebody can think of who's not crazy. And I think what's going to end up happening, and I'm just going with it. I think what's going to end up happening is that he gets brought into something and he pleads insanity, because who would possibly say the things that I said unless I was insane?
So you don't think he's crazy?
I think that everybody got an ounce of crazy. Everybody got a percentage of crazy. I just think that he's a lot more self-aware. And I think he has a lot more awareness than what he lets on. I don't buy this shit about him being unhinged and not knowing what he says. And, oh, my medication is the reason. No. I'm not. I never want to get into somebody's mental health. I don't know them like that. But I will say it's very inconsistent. And it's easy for people to play up the bipolar. I got family, I got friends that have all been diagnosed with bipolar. I've seen it in real time, and everybody's different. I get that. But I just think the timing is so strategic, and I can see a scenario where you get brought up and you get to plead insanity, and then everybody gonna sit around and say, well, of course he's insane. We all knew that for years. Just something I'm throwing out into the world, because I thought about this during the stream I had with he even tried to blame autism, and shout out to all the parents, including myself. like shout out to all the parents, especially in Autism Awareness Month. Like it was such a low of his to use that to justify the shit he said.
To like a disability or mental health.
He self-diagnosed himself. He self-diagnosed himself when he bit off more than he can chew. I'm sorry. I seen fake crazy too. The Mrs. K says became a YouTube. I appreciate you, Boy Nation. Definitely a long life battle with itself. Thank you so much for the super chat. Queen said, run up. They not like us on the anniversary. Can't fake influence. Oh, you know we are. April 19th is around the corner. That's when push-ups drop.
Oh yeah, bro. It's gonna be the anniversary, right? That's gonna be funny. Truman Show.
Dynamite. Drake is our real life Truman show. Yeah, show is. Thank you for the super chat. Summer Bean says, all I can say is thank you. Of course, thank you. We just given conversation of things I'm sure that you've already talked about. Have y'all heard of the Dark Kenny subreddit? Of course. Ryan now. Matter of fact, they didn't found me at times because I said something and I was like, oh, I'm getting too close. I'm gonna shut up now.
Too close to the sun.
I'll get too close to the truth. Yeah. Deluxe the champ. J. Cole close to the hole, but want to praise Kanye. I saw that. I don't know these folks in real life. I don't know why they be doing the things they do. That's their choice. Wicked NC says, not talking about his career, talking about feds.
Oh.
Okay. Baka's name came up during the XXX case. What if that's the weird case?
Dun, dun, dun.
I see, but I think assaulting your on and off again girlfriend, well, I would say allegedly still, because of her complaining that you were drunk and let fries burn.
Oh, I'll add something to that though, because the report said that the police thought that it was more than just one girl.
Oh,
see, that's the thing that Jalopy was saying. Like, they don't tell you everything. They'll tell you like he did 11 months, he got out, and the charges were dropped. But they don't tell you that the charge was the trafficking, was the assault, and that when the police arrested him on 6 different offenses, they believed, and this was the report, they believed that there was more women involved. However, this is the only woman that they were able to get a statement from, or to convict him with.
That's crazy. The twins, shout out to the twins. Thank you for the super chat. We Are Deciphered said, Theory Time, what do you think about UMG posturing Drake through deposition to admit to having ghostwriters on dist to shield himself from defamation, just to use that to further destroy his rep? I think he's doing a good job of that on his own. And like in all honesty, I don't think that they have to do too much. I think that, to me, he's moving like somebody that knows the person across the table has more information than has more information than he has about them. Because my thing is, why do you have to request this paperwork if you know for a fact that Kendrick had a different deal? If you know for a fact, like, why are you doing all of this I know it's the legal way to do that, but I'm like,
Yeah.
where's your smoking gun? Where's your leaks? You got all of these media platforms that you seem to have great relationships with or arrangements. Why are they not playing the same dirty game that's being played against you, allegedly?
Right.
So
I think he cut. Well, he's already jacked up with Spotify. Like they don't like him, right? Spotify, iHeartRadio.
They're playing fair though. They're playing fair right now with him because they want to make sure that he has. I mean, I think they were even removed from the lawsuit, weren't they?
Well, he like settled out of the iHeartMedia one. Like they decided like it's whatever, just drop it. And then Spotify was kind of like the same thing. So it's more so like, but you went at them trying to get information about Kendrick. That's the whole issue. Was that you tried to fish for information from them. You couldn't find anything, so you left it alone. Now you're just focused on UMG. And then when the streaming farm allegations came about, and then he had to amend his lawsuit and then drop those cases or he has to fix it.
Right.
And he's probably going to take the stream farm allegations off. So now he could just focus more so on the defamation situation.
That's the weakest part of the case is a defamation.
Exactly.
Oh my God. And I had James Francis on my platform. He made a really good point. He said one of the most underrated bars in his opinion was on push-ups, Drake bragged about his contract in comparison to Kendrick's.
Yeah, he did a lot.
He bragged about it being so good. And now he's trying to prove with undisputable evidence
that he has the best contract?
That he doesn't.
Oh, do you think that he has the best contract? Like, do you think Kendrick has a better contract? I don't know. I don't really care for the money they made.
Yeah. That those details obviously are only in the possession of people who have it. I think that ego, if I'm in his position, ego would make me say they gave Kendrick my money.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? So then
I think like that y'all are doing business together.
Yeah, like you know what, y'all are in cahoots because you didn't want to pay me because I had a let's just go down the scenario you created earlier. He had an issue with Lucy and they had a falling out. He sells all his property, he moves away from LA, yada yada yada. In continuation of that, oh, now you buddy with my op. You buddy with Kendrick.
Yeah,
you know what? You know what? That's my money that Kendrick got. He didn't just beat me in a rap battle. He took the deal that I was going to renegotiate with. I'm not saying that makes any sense. I think that it lacks logic all the way around. But this line of thinking, I think, is what a lawyer hears and says, I think we might have a case here, especially if we can see the contract.
Damn, bro. So he might just be upset that they're working with Kendrick and he wants to see how much he has. But at the end of the day, like I said, I don't know what's seeing contract unless there's something like, oh yeah, we're gonna boost Kendrick every fucking day. Like if they have something that says that, but the thing is that everybody's contract's different. Nobody has the same contract. So what if they wrote a contract for Kendrick saying we're going to promote him like we do everybody else? And what if they say we have these different type of incentives, whether Drake look at him good or bad, it's not going to matter because that's the deal that they gave him. How are they going to know? This is the thing. How are they going to know what to give Kendrick that's going to make Drake look bad? How do I know what to give Kendrick that's going to make Drake look horrible? How can I tell that? And why would I do that if I make money off of Drake? Their biggest argument was, I make money off of you. It takes two to tango. Both of y'all beefing, we make money
off of both of y'all.
Exactly.
I compared it to a 7-Eleven. There's a Coca-Cola and they have a Pepsi. Those are rivals.
Yeah.
7-Eleven don't care if you buy Coca-Cola over Pepsi. There is nobody working in 7-Eleven that says, put the Pepsis in front of the Coca-Colas, all right, so nobody can see them. Because no matter what, that $3.99, they get their percentage of that. And obviously a percentage goes back to the companies and whatever the distributors or whatever the agreements are. But it's like, dog, y'all work for the same company. That's why when people ask me who won between 50 Cent and Kanye, I say Universal.
Yeah.
Universal had an amazing week when they decided to have that happen. It's insane. Shout out to Victor22. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. We are deciphered. Victor said OVO Fontana chapter, his back against the curb. Okay. Thank you. Miss Reg to you. We should file a class action for meet your partner. Shout out to Miss Reg to you. Islos, shout out. Thank you for the super chat. The Mrs. K. Why Drake repping Anita Baker but not repping a Canada artist?
Deborah Cox is crazy.
Like Deborah Cox in the tape deck singing. Things just ain't the same.
Deborah Cox in the tape deck is a wild statement.
That's
man.
hilarious. Deborah Cox in the tape deck. How did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. It don't got the same ring to it. It don't got the same ring to it. Oh my God. Thank you for the super chat. Don't forget about Ye taking his daughter to see Andrew Tate.
That was wild. That was wild. I didn't even know that. That's
I didn't
crazy.
even know that either. Whoa. Well, AC, y'all noticed that the GNX tour starts on the anniversary that Push Ups was released? I did not even think about that.
Somebody gonna have to
For real?
The 19th.
No
Well, no. What is it? No, it came out on the 19th. Oh, no. You know what? You might be thinking about the leak.
Oh,
I think the tour starts on the 13th, doesn't it?
but the leak was real anyway.
But remember they said it's not the CDQ version. Remember the actual it dropped on streaming.
Yeah.
It dropped on streaming on the 19th. That's what I meant to say. That's insane. How sick y'all think Drake gets Kendrick's contract and sees Top don't get 50? What? At this point, he should know that because he has his own imprint in PG Lane.
Oh, and you know why he also said that too? I think I probably heard somebody say this, but they said that Drake probably wants to see the contracts because of what Kendrick said. He said, "Show me your splits." Remember in Euphoria,
he was signed to and sent his sign to that.
What if Drake was like, "How does he know that?" You know what I mean?
I hope he's not that stupid. I ain't never hog tie nobody. I hope he's not that stupid. The way he's like, the vision of him sitting inside one of them embassy rooms and then having like,
how does he know? You see Jesse Pinkman when he's like, he can't keep getting away with this.
Can't you getting away with this? I am the one that knocks. Skyler, Jesse.
That's
Jesse. Oh my God. Vic 511 says, I don't know if you caught this. Kendrick was right. He got his whole angle from Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Purple Hearts, verse 1. Emoji heart, my family pictures. 2-stepping away from rappers. I don't trust their true intentions.
I don't trust them. Dope.
Yeah, I for sure said that from the beginning. I still have the theory. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats, too. Really appreciate you. I appreciate you for hanging out, Vill.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Salute, man. Thank you for having me, bro.
I still got the theory that he put that money out there, according to Kendrick, and was looking for information. Then he figured out Kendrick lives a boring life, as he once quoted. And then he was like, it's got to be more. I think he listened to We Cry Together and he said, uh-oh. A little domestic disputes. Do you think that's what this is? I think maybe this is him telling a true story. I think he watched that video like a dumbass and started to develop theories about his whole,
To be fair, they don't really like physically fight in the song. They're just arguing.
It's called a toxic relationship. Something he may not never know nothing about. When I watched it, I got PTSD because I've had conversation where you meet somebody who's just as much of a hothead as you, and you're like, whoo, we are not made for each other, but we are in our lives to learn an important lesson. I saw that and I was like, I can't listen to this. I've been not in arguments like that, but I've been in some ones. And you're right, it never got physical. And I think he saw that, and it feels like it's because he grew up in a household where he started crying when the people got loud voices. Are you guys yelling? Stop yelling. We're supposed to be a family. It just feels like he would start crying if loud voices happen. Once again, showing the reason why you're not like us. Are you guys yelling? That's all I can hear.
Oh, they're fighting.
They're fighting. You hate each other. No, they're having a disagreement.
Hey, they fuck at the end of the song, so
That's what I'm saying. Like he saw that and said, "Oh, I guess well, at least they're touching each other again. Well, stop yelling. Stop yelling." And I'm not trying to belittle nobody's drama. Let me just say that I'm not trying to belittle nobody's, trauma or any kind of experiences you may have had. But we know the avatar is somebody like a Drake who's just like, why you guys gotta be fighting? And it's like maybe that friend that you might have had or acquaintance that you brought over to your house, and then your mom said, who your friend? Tell him to young man, take your shoes off in my household. And he says, your mom's mean, man. What do you mean my mom's mean? The way she said it, man, she told me to take my shoes off. You think that's mean?
Yeah, my mom's done worse, bro.
You think that's mean? I said, why are you guys fighting? Stop fighting. You guys are yelling. Exactly. Justin said it. Why are you guys yelling? Stop fighting.
Stop fighting. It's crazy.
No, we love each other.
He did the same thing with the mother eye. Yeah. Mother eye. He did the same exact thing. And then he missed it. Shout out Professor Sky, by the way, because he obviously did that video where he did the whole breakdown where he said, like, no, he's talking about, it was his mom assuming, that he was. It wasn't really something that happened. I think that was an important part too. But it's like you said, he grabbed a hold of things and he thought that he could see if it could stick. And it kind of just fell to the floor.
Because that's why I say don't ever tell me I'm having a mother eye moment when I connect the dots. He's not connecting dots. He's connecting a goldfish to tennis shoes. It don't make no sense, do it? It's because it don't make no sense. It's not supposed to make no sense. He said, mother, I figured it out. You did.
I just made the whole connection.
I just made the whole connection. I know, no, brother, there's no Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi is weak. That connection is not happening.
I got that emoji in my shit, bro. It's just him like that. Yeah, with his brain, like a peanut brain, bro. It's like that. Shit, bro. He
think he having a beautiful mind moment. There ain't no damn beautiful mind. I ain't never hog-tied nobody. CV Dope said to understand what is going on, the Mann Act, and it ties to being flued out. This is how they took down celebrities. It's real tricky. One woman.
Yeah, I mean, it gets better. It gets better when you just stick to one person. I think.
Yeah. All of a sudden, being a square don't seem like it's that complicated.
Not bad.
Not a bad life. Being a civilian, who would have thought it came with all these perks?
Like I could call the cops right now. I don't care.
Why you gonna call the cops on me, man? I thought okay, I promise I won't call you Vill no more. I'm sorry. Don't sue me, man. One more round of applause for my dog JV. I almost said it again. JV from the Vill.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me, bro. It was a pleasure being here, bro. Everybody tapped in that watched me. Everybody go like, subscribe. If you haven't, go like, subscribe. I appreciate you, Curtis, for having me on, bro. It's a really big opportunity for me.
Man, it ain't gonna be the last time. We're genuinely building, and if there's ever a time you want to bring your friend Curtis on, like, let me know. I'm there. I got you 1,000%. I got you the same way, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Hell yeah, man. Take care, bro.
All right, y'all have a good one. Thank you to all my moderators. Thank you to all the super chatters and all that. This was fun. This right here makes it exciting. Like, this is exciting. So I salute y'all. Shout out Erica Badu. Shout out Fatty Bella one time. I love this shirt. I love the way they was looking at me when I was walking outside. They were like, oh, I enjoyed that. Got a little line up type shit. All right. Join me tonight if you can. I have a listening party for a very, very, very insanely talented lyricist named Cam Archer and a producer that ironically has worked with Drake, my guy Nabian. Tonight we're gonna have a listening party. You're more than welcome. It'll be real casual. I'm taking all the cameras and bringing them downstairs to the DIY stage. He's gonna be talking about his lyricism, his songwriting, the stories in there. I'm actually featured on the project. Much love to you. I do appreciate you supporting this channel. Stay with me. Hey, stick with me. Stick with me. It's about to get real, real interesting on this channel. I promise you. You chose the right time to subscribe. You chose the right time to hang out. Thank you so much, Afro Butterfly. You always remind me. Look, If you want to be part of the DIYer community, I got a Patreon, patreon.com/Curtis King TV. If you want to check it out, by all means, come check it out. The information is already inside the description. I put all the live streams inside of that particular Patreon and some good information. Big Zo, I'm gonna be hitting you up soon, bro. I'm be hitting you up soon. Hashtag RR in the chat, retire Rochelle. My goal this year is to retire my mother. So I'm gonna be working a whole lot this year in a real way. I greatly appreciate you. Much love. Thank y'all so much for coming here and using your brains and having that deep thought into what we doing. Nasha, my dog. Yes, hashtag RR. Until the next time, hopefully I see you tonight. Much love. Y'all stay safe, stay productive. I'll talk to you soon. Peace, peace.
DIY.
DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.